Hello, everybody. Heidi ho, Terri Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer here, and I want to talk about Bob Chapek and being clueless. Welcome to Terri Hardin's Ask Me Anything Friday. Ask Me Anything Friday is a time when you get to ask me any questions by posting in the comments what you'd like to hear about, learn about, or discuss. It can be just about anything in my career. I have found out lately I'm on 3 Wikipedia pages now. I thought I was only on 2. Women of Imagineering, that would be me as one of them, and also Terri Hardin Wikipedia page for those of you who want something a little more easy to find. The best way to learn more about me is to Google me, but step back because it goes like this. I've worked really hard to post and reach out to you, but also my career is quite extensive. I'm not bragging, just here is someone that is an open book that I am inviting you to ask questions of every Friday so that you can get better on the course that you want to get on. Okay, you want to be an Imagineer? Ask me about that. You want to know about Ghostbusters? Ask me about that. You want some Disney news? If I can't tell you who, a lot of times people in the comments can, and we can talk about that. Okay? All righty. Excellent. So, many of you know, and if you don't know, how dare me assume, but many of you know that I have a Patreon page. I have a group called Terry's Tribes. Here is how you can join: $5 a month, $60 a year. And believe me, I over deliver. I do Zoom calls every Wednesday at 11. And on May 2nd, we're going to do a Zoom call with the tribe at 6:30 p.m. evening. Yes, because several of the tribe have asked for an evening call. And I said, well, of course, why not? So, this is where your voice can be heard. This is where we talk about private stuff, where we get deep, where we spotlight each one of you if you want to talk about and share with me what you do. And if you have a question or you need some help doing how to make a living doing what you love, the tribe gathers around you. You have the whole tribe at your disposal to help you get out of the rut you may or may not be in, especially if you're an artist. I'm finding that the voice that is the worst is usually the one that's in your head speaking to you. And our job as the tribe, and my job as Terri Hardin, is to help you move further and realize that I have been doing my own thing since I was 8 years old and making money at it in one way or another, whether I'm doing little Easter eggs and selling them through my mother's work, or I became an Imagineer. I'm also a Jim Henson puppeteer. I'm an international trademarked artist and speaker. So there's a lot. There's a lot. And the only reason I'm telling you this and sharing this with you is that please take the time to ask me questions inside or make comments. Okay. It was at this with the tribe that it popped up. And on Friday, one of the people said that they really wanted to pretty much ride Bob Chapek out on a rail. Now, I started to talk on the Zoom call about what happens sometimes with the Disney company. And just give me a moment. It was getting a little bit chilly in here, and I was actually quite loving it, but I'm ready to talk to you without being a little chilly. Here's the thing. Disney tends to hire people that do well in their companies or corporations, in their crossovers, in their areas, and don't necessarily think about how they can run a company like Disney or the Disney parks. And this is Bob. Bob Chapek is really, really nothing more than clueless. Now, honestly, if you are going to be tested or you're going to get such a job, and as I understand it, he was handpicked by Bob Iger. He was someone who was at the parks, help. What did my friend say? Operations something or other. I don't know his past. I didn't really decide to look deep into it, speaking of studying. But the problem is that the things he's saying and doing are things that a lot of people who get put in a high position like this think they need to know, and they just expect themselves to know it. All right, this happens all the time. People feel, artists like myself, okay, They feel that they need to have some sort of crystal ball to know what you want as collectors and fans of the Disneyland, Walt Disney World, all the parks, right? When in reality, all you have to do, Bob Chapek, I'm speaking to you right now, is to ask the fans and people. It's that simple. We just ask you guys, okay? One of the things that people have said is, Terri, your work is so spot on. Your art is so, the fans just collect it like crazy. They love it. And you know, you seem to have a hand on the pulse of the Disney community. But here's the reality, guys. I ask you, okay? On my tribe, I ask my tribe on Patreon. I ask them, what's next? What do we want next? What do we need to sculpt next? What do we need to do next? And then I ask the people of Terri's tribe. So again, patreon.com/Terri Hardin. I ask the people of Terri's tribe, what do you want to see next? What's missing? What character? So just for an example to you, so that you can kind of understand how this works, Bob, is that you as an executive can't possibly know all of the stuff that Disney does. Disney has their fingers in a million cookie jars, and these parks, whether Walt Disney World has always said they want to be the hub being a place that makes decisions for parks everywhere. Now, they can't make decisions for Paris, and they can't make decisions for Tokyo or Shanghai, and they understand that. But for some reason, they think, and you may think too, Bob, that you can make the same decisions for Disneyland as you can for Walt Disney World, and this is not true. This is absolutely not true. The people of the West Coast have different criteria with their park, Disneyland, than the people on the East Coast and those who visit each. Okay? So Disneyland, as you know, and I'm speaking to Bob again, Walt Disney walked Disneyland. Okay? Walt Disney actually put his feet inside the park, walked through the castle, oversaw where the trees go, oversaw how the lands were laid out. That was done by, you guessed it, Walt Disney. It is the only park that Walt walked. Okay? He never got to see Walt Disney World. Now, am I strutting my stuff? No, I'm not strutting my stuff. This is a very important thing that you need to know, Bob. And all of the executives who don't understand this, and people in Walt Disney World who think they can willy-nilly make a decision for Disneyland. You can't do it. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't do it. It is a different thought process. It is a different heart. Okay. So like I said in my thumbnail, Disneyland is not about the head. Disney Studios is not about the head. It's about the heart. And how do you learn about the heart? You talk to the people who love Disney and love the parks. Okay. If you don't want to talk to everybody, which I think you should talk to every single person. You should listen to every single person, but that can be a bit challenging. Okay. But one thing you don't want to do, Bob Chapek, is avoid these people. Okay. If you want to avoid these people and keep doing what you're doing, which keeps being worse and worse, which keeps being more and more wrong, which keeps making people the very people that are your bread and butter, the people that go to Disneyland and love these parks, love these movies, love things that Disney does. They adore Disney. Okay. What better people to ask? This is what I do. I ask. That's my secret. I'm sharing with you my secret. I ask. That's it. I just say, hey guys, talk to me. What kind of sculptures would you like to see? What kind of thing would you like to hear? What kind of talk can I do for you? How can I be of service? That's what you need to say, Bob. Or say, for example, okay, I was about to show you. Let me show you like for real now. Let me get there. No, I really have this figured out now, guys. You don't have to. Okay. In respect to these, wait, let me go back to these characters right here. Okay. I did these Hitchhiking Ghosts. Illumination. Took me 2 years to work on getting them the way that fans and collectors wanted them. There's several things about them that came from you, not me. Okay. And I'm going to point out a few of them. So I asked people like you Haunted Mansion people. Okay. So Bob, here's the thing. If you want to know about Walt Disney World, you ask Walt Disney World enthusiasts. If you want to know about Disneyland, you ask Disneyland enthusiasts. If you want to create a celebration, in this case at Disneyland, today is the day of the electrical parade. Woohoo! Right? And and I realize now on the tribe, I didn't say one thing about the electrical parade. So there you go. It just shows that sometimes Fridays are the same with me and money. But anyway, the electrical parade's coming. How wonderful it would be if you said, what do you want for the electrical parade? And they may have, because they're introducing sippy cups and popcorn buckets that light up that represent the parade. And I think one of the reasons a lot of people aren't with me today on my broadcast is because they're trying to get these buckets and sippy cups. Because I don't remember, you tell me if any other popcorn bucket lit up. I don't collect popcorn buckets. But it looks to me like somebody asked, and they kept it exclusive to Disneyland and Disneyland's electrical parade. Okay? This is all you need to do, Bob. This is all any Disney executive needs to do, is to ask the people in the area. So I shouted out to Haunted Mansion people here, and they told me what they wanted. And one of the questions I had was, should Professor Phineas be in his cape? Because all of the sculptures that I saw, even the new latest one, which is a popcorn bucket, he was in his suit. And I said, is that a Walt Disney World thing he's in the cape? I thought it was more of a Mark Davis thing, and he was a ghost. I had seen the early sketches. So I asked Haunted Mansion people, and they said, no, not really. So I said, would you all like him in the cape? And as a result, Professor Phineas is in his cape. Why? Because I asked you guys. I asked the people who know. Right? Super simple. Super, super simple. I've been doing it for years. I ask, what would you like? That's how it works. And you can do it as an executive. Tony Baxter does this. He goes out before the pandemic. He would go to things like little clubs, like the Disneyana Fan Club, which was NFFC at the time. But he would go to those places and he would talk to the people and hear what they had to say. What did they like? What did they not like? In fact, the very first D23 event that I went to, it was pretty similar. We had executives step out on the stage and speak to these massive audiences. Now, as an audience, it's our duty to keep our heads. We shouldn't attack you personally, Bob, and we shouldn't necessarily make you feel bad, but we do need to state our case clearly for you. But in order for us to be able to do that, Bob Chapek, you got to step out on that stage and take your medicine like a man. You got to do it, buddy. You got to be accountable. You got to say, hey, I'm just a man. I'm a human being. I've made some mistakes, obviously. Talk to me. That's a scary thing to do. That's a scary thing to do when you've done a few things that hurt. Okay? But you got to let these people have their voice. You all need to state your voice in a calm and professional manner, because if you start to insult the person personally, even if it's someone that's making you really angry, that's when their ears close up and they stop hearing your voice. So what you want to do is, should we, all of us, get the opportunity to speak to Bob Chapek, if he's strong enough, man enough to step out on that stage, because Disney people are not violent people. They're angry, they get upset, they get hurt. We all do, right? But that's no reason to attack him personally. All right? If he steps out on that stage to be accountable, and I urge you to do this, Bob Chapek, step out on that stage, be a man. Do it at D23 if you want to. Your next opportunity, step out on a small group, invite small groups to come and speak with you so you can test the waters and see how it is. Because Disney people just want to get their idea across. They want you to understand what you're doing is wrong. And here's the surprise, Bob. I hope you see this, Bob Chapek. That's why I did kind of a somewhat aggressive thumbnail. because I'm hoping maybe you'll listen to this. And that's why it's on the front, because you can see I can talk for hours if you look at any of my other videos. So I'm trying to put it in the first 30 minutes here. Okay, so that you don't have to look through the whole thing unless you want to. But here's the deal. They're nonviolent. They just want to state what they are doing. And it's not going to be, I know, Bob, in your brain, you have probably played it up that people are going to attack you personally, attack your character, which I'm urging all of you as fans, should you get this opportunity, do not do this. Okay? It does nothing to attack someone's character. When we're debating here, I ask you to debate. I'm more than happy to debate. But I don't want you to attack each other's characters. It's just not the way it works, okay? Don't say you idiot. Don't do it. Don't do it. But say, Bob, some of the choices you've made have not been good or have been a bit idiotic. Okay? In our opinion, as a group. Now, here's the thing, Bob Jacob, Jpeck, you're going to be thrilled about. The Disney fans, and I have been with them for over 40 years, is they will give you suggestions. So they're not going to sit in the audience and just attack you with their complaints, okay? With the things they think you're not doing right. They're going to have solutions, because many of you out there that are Disney enthusiasts know how you want the park to be and are very clear on how it can be changed or altered. Am I right? Post in the comments if I'm wrong. You are a source of information that has been overlooked. Every single one of you out there that is a Disney enthusiast, whether it's the movies, whether it's the ride changes, whether it's the parks and what they're doing, whether it's the Genie Pass, whether it's the charging extra for attractions, blah, 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 blah. What's going in your park, what's not going in your park. Am I right? Yes, exactly. So I urge you, stop being clueless, Bob Chapek. There's a formula. I also am a Disney enthusiast as well as Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer, and I'm here to offer a solution. Step out on that stage and be accountable and say, you know what? I do want to hear from you. I'm new. This is a new position. I got excited. You know, I thought I knew what y'all wanted, but obviously not. The stock's going down. So it's not even for the stockholders now. It's not working. It's not working. Maybe you got one or two things that worked okay, but you could win the trifecta, Bob. You could, but you gotta ask the people. You can't sit up in a shiny castle, look out over those people and think you know what they're thinking unless you ask. So that's my opening, is I want you to ask. Do it at a D23 event. Do it at a special intimate event where you invite certain people that whose voices are interesting, and, you know, buy a little lunch and ask people who represent fandom as a start, and then go out beyond those fandoms, okay? Because I can ask people who have their blogs or their channels or their websites or whatever. I can ask people on that level, but they too must understand that you got to talk to the person, the individuals who love the park like no other person, okay? It's really, really important. This is an important lesson for all of you to take if you're going to be in an executive position, and it's not Disney. Maybe it's Nike. I mean, Disney brought Nike in and they know shoes. So how can you know about theme parks and how they run and what makes them special? You can't. So you study, you learn, you figure it out. Yeah. And that's what helps. Dragon's Lair, I was obsessed with dragons. So I knew about dragons, okay? I knew people were going to love a dragon under the castle in Disneyland, because I talked enough to the fans before. I didn't need to ask them, you want a dragon under the castle? I knew it. But that's because I studied, okay? Here's another piece right here that I want to share with you. Right here. This is my Tinkerbell tiptoeing across the map, and she was offered in 2005 at Disneyland. Actually, 2001 to 2005, she was offered. You can still find her. Behind her is all the Stitch characters staring at her. But I actually got together with a group of 50 women at a NFFC convention, which is now the Disney Anna Fan Club, and asked them what Tinkerbell I should do, because for the 45th anniversary, I had originally done a map, and that map was so loved by the Disneyland high ups that they took it and decided to use it for the very last Disney Anna convention. I'll show you that in a minute if you'd like to see it. But then Terri there was a hole in the 45th anniversary celebration. Terri, the artist, didn't have a piece in it. So she came up with this Tinkerbell, and then Disney thought they were only going to put one out. Well, there's something you should know about Tinkerbell. She's one of the most popular characters. I'm sure y'all knew this, but she's one of the most popular characters. And I knew that if I allowed Disney to just offer one Tinkerbell, that there'd be a bloodbath. So I didn't want that. I said, no, I don't want you to offer one. I want to offer an amount. So Disney, the Disneyland mucky mucks, if you will, thought that it would be great just to offer 50 of them exclusively at the Disney Anna convention. But this Disney Anna convention, the very last one, see if it sounds a little like D23 used to be. Sounds like they're trying to be a little better this year, and I commend them for it. It cost $1,000 to $2,000 just to get in the door of the Disney Anna convention, and that's why they were failing, because they didn't have a price for their foundation. And here's another thing, Bob Chapek, it's not the high payers that are your foundation. It's the little guy buying the ticket. And I say little guy so you understand what I'm saying, because I think in the brains of people who live in the castle, they think the little guy with their $35 isn't going to amount to much. But that is your foundation. That is the person that keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming. Wealthy people want to keep being served as a rule. I'm not saying you're that person, because there's a lot of very, very generous, wealthy people out there. But the thought process is that you want something for your hard-earned money, and everyone wants something for their hard-earned money. So I'm not saying anything derogatory about the wealthy. But what I am saying is you can't be exclusively about the wealthy. And you shouldn't be exclusively about the foundation. You should be all-encompassing. A lot like practical effects and CG. You have to have it together to make the best movie, right? So this is a great way as you consider both camps. But Disney Anna kind of made it an exclusive thing, and they crashed and burned. I'm sure there were other reasons as well, but can't go. And on a Sunday, you could pay $1,000 to get in to look at the merchandise, but you were kind of like, why do I do that? You know, why? And so it crashed and burned. But they tried to keep Tinkerbell in that group, and I said no, and there was a fight. And then finally it was agreed that they would pull Tinkerbell from that show before it aired on that show, and they take the map. They took the map, and it was offered exclusively at that show for a lot of money. And then Tinkerbell was made 2,500 pieces, and she was introduced in August during the 50th. And Disney would release those Tinkerbells in $500 piece increments, 2,500 with this little character. And you could buy her. My name's on the bottom in a very nice box that they designed. And you could get her. And she was very popular and is still very popular, because when I spoke to the 50 women at the NFFC convention who were Tinkerbell enthusiasts, they all said, first of all, we each need one. Hope it's a good price point. That's what they said to me. And also they said they wanted the Mark Davis drawings, because there were all different kinds of renditions of Tinkerbell, and I got lost. I got very lost, and I didn't know how to do the right Tinkerbell. So what did I do, Bob Jpeck? I talk to Tinkerbell enthusiasts. Tell me about Tinkerbell. Tell me why she's important to you. Tell me what I can do to make a very special thing. Look on your shelf, Tinkerbell collectors, and tell me what Tinkerbell is missing. This is what I said. This is what I say to people. But Bob, there's no harm in asking for help. But you got to ask help from the right people. And those right people, I know I'm saying it a lot, I want to keep it in that 30 minutes so it drills down, just in case you happen to watch or someone sends you my video. All you have to do is ask the people who love Disney, and that is the friends and fans who have been going there since they were children and are taking their grandchildren, and they're taking their children, and on and on and on, if they can afford it. So one of the biggest complaints, or one of the biggest challenges that the fans are facing now, Bob, and I'm saying it within 30 minutes, is these prices are too high, buddy. So how can you get what you want and give them what they want? And my suggestion is maybe you have a special ticket. You go back to the time when Walt did a la carte, and you allow someone like a parent. Let's say I have 2 little kids, 3 and 4 years old. There's not a lot that little kids can go on in the Disneyland parks, okay? You got Fantasyland, okay? They can ride something like Pirates if they don't get too frightened, or you don't wuss out and make the ride too sweet and sugary. If they're pirates, we really don't want that. But you can go through with the kids, and the kids can ride that. And now Toontown is being revisited, so they'll have a Toontown. But my point is, let's say you're 2 parents with 2 kids, and you don't really want to sell your car or either one of your children to be able to go to Disneyland. I mean, come on. Or Disney World. I mean, come on. So you want to make it affordable for families. Now, I know it's not going to be back in the prices of when Walt was alive, but perhaps what you could do is there's a certain time they could have an entrance fee, and then they could pick 2 attractions or 3 so that their tiny children could have a taste of what Disneyland is like. And then when they go up and they're bigger and they can ride more rides and be on more attractions because that height thing is there, they can maybe spend the bigger dollar. But now they know. But to have everybody pay the same price, is hard. It's hard on the families. But this is a way, this is my suggestion, because I too want to be part of the solution, not only part of the problem. So this is my suggestion. You don't have to take it, but hopefully maybe something I say will trigger something in your heads. You in the great top of the mountain that rarely come down and be with the people. I mean, seriously, Bob, you haven't. Every time people think you're going to come out, you don't come out. And I can only think it's because you're afraid of what the fandom is going to say. Well, you have a right to be afraid. You haven't been doing a good job. But here's the thing, you can fix that. We're all wanting to help you fix it. Am I right? Post in the comments. If Bob Chapek came out and said, hey guys, I haven't been doing this right, I need your help, would you be willing to share with him your opinions, thoughts, and hopes without insulting the man? Would you do that? Put here, okay? Tell me. So that should this video get in the hands of Bob Chapek, he can see your support if he steps out on that stage and asks you. That's what I'm asking you, Bob Chapek, to do, is step out on that stage, be accountable, and ask the people who can help you. That's the fans, okay? All right, enough said. All done. End of it. So, before I go into the Ask Me Anything, today is a very special day at Disneyland. The electrical parade comes back, okay? So, there's a lot happening there. And also, Walt Disney World has a retro day coming up. So if you want to talk about that, if you want to share about that. And also, I'm being honored on May 14th at in Anaheim with the Disneyana Fan Club. Go to DisneyanaFanClub.org, I think is what it is. Anyway, I can post on later on my feed. I'll let you know where it is, okay? But Disneyana, DisneyanaFanClub.org. And you can find out about this Legends dinner. They're also honoring, in addition to me at that dinner, they are honoring Kim Irvine. And I am very excited to see Kim Irvine. And for those of you who love the Haunted Mansion and those of you who love Disneyland's Haunted Mansion, Kim Irvine's mother, Leota, her mother, Leota, was Madame Leota in the Haunted Mansion. And sometimes Kim gets to play that role occasionally. So it's going to be a great night. There's going to be a silent auction on that night. You can bid on some really cool stuff. And also I will be auctioning off live. They've asked me to be the MC. Why? Because I have no energy whatsoever. But I'm being sarcastic. But Where am I? Okay. Okay, I got a little turnaround in my thing here, and that's because I want to share with you. This is what I'll be auctioning off right here. This is my robot Mickey. So Disneyana fan club brought some, asked some artists to do some renditions on the Vinylmations. I'm not a big fan of Vinylmations, but this one is available. And let me tell you, he's this. Let me go back to me. He's not this big. He's this big. Okay. And I just thought Robo Mickey would be great. So you got a little glimpse at Robo Mickey. Let me show you him one more time. Here he is. And he'll be available for you to bid on live auction. Okay. If you are a minifig person, if you're a steampunk person, if you're a robot person, there you go. Okay. So I highly encourage you to come to the Disneyana dinner on the 14th. You can go for the full day, in which I will be one of the first presenters because of my incredibly low energy. A lot of people like a little caffeine in their day and don't take caffeine. So I am the caffeine in your coffee. I'll be speaking of the 30th anniversary of Disneyland Paris, in which I designed the Dragon's Lair. And I'll be talking about that. And then you'll also get to hear two other fantastic speakers. You'll get to hear from Bob Gurr, who will be speaking on that Saturday, and Garner Holt, who will be speaking on that Saturday. And you know, if you love Fantasmic, that's Garner. Not that he only did Fantasmic. Garner's done a lot more. And we all know that Bob Gurr is responsible for half of the transportation that you are riding and experiencing at Disneyland. He is a legend among legends and a lot of fun to hear speak. So I highly urge you to go for the full day on May 14th in Anaheim, and DisneyanaFanClub.org is where you go. Okay. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'd love to see you there. And then the next day, if you want to make a day of it, if you want to come across, you don't live here, but you want to come down from Upper California, or you want to come over, you can go to the show and sale too, which is one of the best. It will really surprise you how good that the show and sales usually they are. They're just great. Okay, so let me go to the Ask Me Anything. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for listening to me about Bob Chapek. Let me know in here if you agree or disagree, and please don't be insulting. Just state your opinion. All right, that's what we do. That's what a good debate group does, is they debate the issue, not attack the person. I know our politicians don't necessarily share doing that. They just can't seem to not dig each other, but let's not be them. Let's be bigger than them. Okay. And maybe Bob Chapek will take the chance and step out on that stage and hear from you guys. Okay. And then when you do, just bring a solution as well as a problem. Okay. And I think he might just, we might see good things from him, but we haven't really given him a chance. I heard he was a nice guy. There are people at Disneyland who met and spoke with him and agreed with me. He was a bit clueless. So they said, that could be a good thing, is to maybe clue him in, I originally did some presentations for Haunted Mansion to Disney, and the executives had never been on the mansion ride. How do you pick a Haunted Mansion thing if you don't even understand if you've never been on the attraction? If you don't even know what it is, come on, you got to study, right? Right. Okay, let's go over to your questions. Thank you so much for for listening to me. I wanted to get that within the 30-minute window, and we have. So there you go. There we go. Well, good morning from across the pond, Miss Bella. I'm missing you so much. I'm missing you a lot. Have you been on our private Facebook page? You got to check out some stuff there, Bella. Some pretty cool stuff there. Hello, Evelyn. Good to see you. Woohoo, Bella. Any jokes today, says Darren. Yeah, she might have a few. Watch out. Good morning, Stephen Goldman. I'm thinking of you, and I hope you're doing well. I did get the message. In fact, a couple of people reached out to me, but it's been a very busy week. Wednesdays, I seem to be on Zoom all day, and Thursday I was at Disneyland. So yeah, celebrating. Good morning, Terry, and happy Friday. Happy Friday. This is Earth Day, guys, and it means that you do something other than drive your gas-guzzling car. I think you're kind of Earth Day, aren't you? If you have an electric car, isn't that already Earth Day? I don't know. Explain to me if I'm wrong. What are your thoughts on Bill Murray and his latest movie being shut down due to inappropriate comments? I saw this and I was like, you know, do you remember when an inappropriate comment was something that should not be said to you because it had to do with a physical part of your body or something like that? Now, an inappropriate comment can be what did he say per se? Was he insulting to someone? That was my first question. I haven't really dug into this. But I'm not surprised because today people are more sensitive, especially in the movie industry. The movie industry used to be all about inappropriate comments. I mean, if you ever worked in the film industry, you had to have a thick skin because that's the way it was. So I'm grateful that they're trying to make it better. I don't know how much better it can be, but I appreciate them making it better because someone came out and said, this is wrong. And their voice got heard. Was it Ashley Judge? Ashley Judd? Forgive me, sweetheart, if I'm saying your name wrong. It's not that I'm being mean. It's just that I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, and off the top of my head is not, off the top of my head is sometimes not a place to be recently, but yes, Ashley Judd came out, and whatever she said and however she said it, it stuck. And I will forever be thankful to her because yeah, you know who I'm talking about. I mean, no reason to give him good press, but the point is that we knew about him as far back as when I was about 17 years old. My agent warned me about people like him in the industry that would ask you to do things that were against your character and not proper. And you had to make a decision as a young person as to whether or not it was something that you were going to follow through. So it's been here a while, and it's been really hard. It was really hard. I know there are women out there that tried to blow the whistle on Weinstein, but it didn't work. And for some reason, Ashley's voice was the one that got through and then was backed up by a lot of women. And I'll be thankful to her the whole time. Doesn't matter. Anything else, there's some things people want to tell me about her character and stuff. I don't care. I'm grateful right now that she did this because that is the shot that was heard around the world. And all of a sudden things have changed and are changing, or they're trying to make them change. Now we have to be careful because we're getting a little crazy with stuff. The Snow White ride was really, I'm sorry, that's going too far. Snow White prayed for the prince to come. She was poisoned, and love first kiss was the prerequisite to save her from being dead. So I think those who thought that it was taking advantage of her, I'm sorry. I prayed when my prince will come, and his first kiss woke me up, and I will be forever grateful. So I disagree with those thought processes, and I did not like the changes that I saw at Snow White. I saw it yesterday, and I thought, hey, how are you? I kept thinking, what happened with the poison apple bit? How is she better? What did she sneeze? Cough suddenly? I don't know. I don't get it. It kind of feels like the way people communicate today through their phones. They would rather talk phone to phone than face to face if you're a new young person, because you're not quite sure how face to face works because you've been in this little shape for so long. That's what it felt like. And yeah, it's a fairy tale, guys, and it wasn't written by Walt Disney. So go back and please stop trying to rewrite history. So on the fact with Bill Murray, I don't know the actual thing that he did or said, but if it was an inappropriate move, as was in this case that I just spoke about, then it's time to shut it down and let's talk, find out what it is. So hello, everyone. My great grandson who is 6 years old, just told his parents at open house that he wants to be an artist when he grows up, as he showed them his artwork on the classroom walls. How lovely. Congratulations, Diane. He needs to come and see me, doesn't he? We need to have a chat with him and see what his dreams and goals are. Be great if he came to the tribe, because then you'll see that a child knows no bounds when they dream and say what they want to do as an artist. They just do it, don't they? And that's what you need to have, the heart of a child, so that if you want to do something that you love, believe that you deserve it and go do it. And a step in any direction, even if it's the wrong one, creates momentum. You'll be surprised. What did the calm here we go. What did the calm llama say to the tense llama? No problema. For those of you who don't know my dear Bella, she is one of my tribe members on Terri's tribe, and her voice is always appreciated. And one of the things she loves to tell us is jokes. Bella was 7 when I met her back in 2016, and now I get nervous that when I don't hear from her, that the next time we speak, she's going to say she's in college. So, but she's not yet. But she's a delightful young lady who, if you're part of Terri's tribe, sometimes you get those yummy little opportunities to visit with her. She's a doll. Bella, I hope that you can. I don't know what time it is in the UK at 6 p.m. on Monday in the US, but if it works for you to be able to be on the call, we'd love it. So the plans to organize a mob of German villagers with torches and pitchforks, have them storm Disney Studios in search of Bob Chapek is in hold or canceled. Never been created, Joe. Never going to be created because it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. A mob doesn't work. Mobs don't work. No, I know you're joking, but they don't. People don't listen to a mob. They don't listen to people who rip and tear and scream and destroy and threaten. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. And I've never understood why people destroy their own area to make a point. Why do you break the glasses in your the windows in your area, and why do you loot in your neighborhoods? And what's the point of that other than destroying mom and pop hardworking people's areas that may or may not agree or disagree with you? Again, an aggressive stance just doesn't work. Doesn't work, my friend. Jpeck was in the park yesterday. He was in Disneyland or Disney World? Which park, Bob? Because believe me, if I'd have seen him, I would have walked right up to him, right? If you're talking Disneyland. I'm here, Terri. Hi, Jacob. There you are. Glad to see you. Just kidding. No. I'm glad you're here. What if Bob isn't a man and doesn't step out onto the stage? Can we make fun of him then? You can make fun of him if you want. But I'm saying if you want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem, then, because he said some things. I'm going to grant you, he is fodder for the comedian. The comedian is having a field day with this guy. But what I'm saying is, if you want to set things right, then in order to set things right, you got to take a chance. And it's a scary one. I know it's scary. It's hard to say if you've not done something correctly, right? It's hard to say. It's not easy. What do you think about what Florida is trying to do with Disney property revenue? I haven't read much about it, but I think it's nuts. I think it's absolute. Oh, it's so insane. It's so insane. It's so insane because Disney is, I think, the number one employer of silver-eared people in Florida. But they're the number one employer of silver-eared people after retirement, people in their 60s, people and above, right? In the United States. As I understand it, I think they're number one. They're at least one of 3, but I think they're number one. So there's a lot that's happening behind the scenes that you as a person in Florida don't quite get. It's dangerous what you're doing. And I'm going to tell you how I think, because I'm not a politician and I'm not someone who knows all of the details of it. But I do know that I when was it? Monday? I said the problem, or Wednesday when we're on the Zoom call, I said that a lot of other states will raise their hand and say, if you want to move out of Florida, we're here for you. And yesterday, things came across my feed as various states in the United States did just that. Hey, Walt Disney World, if Florida isn't treating you right, come on over to our camp. We'll take care of you. And at this point, people are kind of giving that a giggle. Why would Walt Disney pull out of Florida for any reason? But you don't poke someone too many times as the pot gets sweeter in the other side of the fence. They could just do that. So I think if you really want this bill to pass, Floridians, really think about it before you do it. Not that it's, I mean, it could be altered, it could be changed, but right now, the way it's reading, my first glance, and it's just my first glance, so I got to do a disclaimer on this. I'm not speaking from authority, but I am speaking from experience on my end. Hollywood, California, thought there was no way people would film in other states because we have the best weather. We are the filmmaking capital of the world. California is. But as you know, we've had runaway production because California decided it was never going to happen instead of trying to do something about it. And by the time we thought to do something about it in the entertainment industry, it was kind of like closing the gate after the cows had gone. Now, we still have a lot of production here, and a lot of people do come back after trying to work in other places because the weather in those other places is not like ours. Okay, but there have been places that have worked out really well. Atlanta is a huge place for production and continues to grow. So please don't think, Floridians, if you're listening, that Disney could not pull out, because if they want to, they could. And then you're going to be like Disneyland was during the pandemic. So another case in point is that Disneyland got a lot of pushback from the city of Anaheim. They got a lot of pushback. Whenever we wanted to do run races at Disneyland, because it's a smaller park, we had to use the streets of Anaheim, and they were really not flexing and helpful with when we did a half marathon. We could never do a marathon because they just would not have it. But the half marathon, which took us into the streets of Anaheim, they had a hard rule that we had to be done by 1 so that they could open up, because it did disrupt the traffic. Okay. But they weren't flexible in any way. They seemed to feel that Disneyland was taking undue advantage until the pandemic hit. And then hotel after hotel, restaurant after restaurant suffered and closed because nobody came to Anaheim. Nobody could come. Disney wasn't open. The Disney fans were sad. The Disney people who were around, the people who profited from it. And all of a sudden, the Anaheim Chamber of Commerce and Anaheim City Councils and all of them realized which side their bread is buttered on. And you are very fortunate. Anaheim is very fortunate to be the home of Disneyland, and we love them for it. But you have to not think, you can't be believing your own press. You have to understand that Disney plays an integral part in the reason people come to Florida and the reason people stay in Florida. All right. Now, some of you might say Universal is a reason that you go, and that's true. But how long do you think Universal will stay? Do you think Universal's not going to think they might be in your sites next? So I'm just saying, I don't know that this is a good idea. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying it could happen. I know right now it's just like, no way. No way. Trust me, guys. Trust me. Really think about before you do this. If this rule that happened in the, what was it, 60s is something that's bugging you as a state, as a community, then work with Disney. Don't just, again, it's about working, being part of a solution. We are not liking this, but how about if we do this? Come to the table and negotiate. Don't just pass a bill and lay down the edict. And the interesting thing they're saying, people are saying to me, is it wouldn't take effect until 2023, giving Disney plenty of time to make a decision. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Something you got to think about. This at the surface may not sound like a good idea, but what are the alternatives? Really consider the alternatives. Don't just pass a bill without thinking. Florida seems to be, posting these bills without thinking. And it concerns me. It concerns me that you go and you pop off before the brain kicks in. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying it's what's happening, but this is the impression I'm getting. And I don't get it. So it's a good question, but I'm just saying, danger, danger, danger is what I'm saying. Be careful. Bob Chapek, you're not an idiot. You're just do idiotic things. Exactly, Joe. Exactly. And maybe one of the reasons he's doing idiotic things is because he hasn't studied. Case in point, I had these designs I was presenting to Disneyland for the Haunted Mansion. I think it was Haunted Mansion's, what was it, 20th or 30th? I don't even remember because it was right next to Pirates. And I was getting confused as to who's on first, right? Y'all who are into Pirates and y'all who are into Haunted Mansion know all this, but I don't. There's thousands of characters, thousands of things you love. So I can't possibly know all of them. But I had some ideas. I had some ideas on what they could do for the Haunted Mansion celebration, which is what they did. They'd go to artists whose work was found at Disneyland when mine was. And they asked us, bring us a couple of ideas. So I did. And the people who were in charge, I did a gargoyle that holds real candles. You know that some of you, that Disney actually did this later, but without me. This can happen. So if you're an artist doing and presenting, do only what they ask. Don't do more, because sometimes they give it to someone else to do. It is their stuff, but it still hurts. So I had this gargoyle holding candles, and the people who were trying to decide whether or not I could make it or not said, why is a gargoyle holding candles? Why is that gargoyle holding candles? Now, what does that say to you guys? Exactly what I was saying. They had not been on the Haunted Mansion attraction. I closed my portfolio and said, the first thing we got to do is ride this ride, because how can you possibly tell me what to illustrate or sculpt when you've never been on the attraction? You don't even know what I'm talking about. Disney executives, true story. Clueless. So rather than saying, are you kidding? How stupid is this? Which I could have said, but instead I said, guys, you didn't study. We need to stop, take a break. Let's go over to Haunted Mansion and ride this sucker. Okay? Yeah, let's do it right now. And then you can ask me your questions after, because all of it's going to be a big question because you haven't ridden the ride, have you? Have you? You didn't study, did you? And they said, no, we've never been on the ride. And they were judging my work. It happens. It's a big corporation, Disney is. And sometimes they bring people in and people kind of assume that they got to know it through osmosis. I don't know how you know anything through osmosis, honestly. Okay, if I went to work for Nike, I have no clue what that's like. I have no clue. I would be asking everybody. I'd be asking you guys, what is it about Nike that you love? Do you like the swish? Do you like if they put air in your shoes, whatever that does? Do you see what I'm saying? You got to ask the questions. Again, you got to ask the questions. Everybody thinks I'm a genius when it comes to sculpting. I just ask you. Sorry. I hate to be a paper tiger, but that's all I do. You out there who love Tigger, what would you like to see? That's all you have to do. When you see 6 different illustrations of Tinkerbell, and sometimes she has almond eyes, sometimes she doesn't, sometimes she has a wand, sometimes she doesn't, I'm supposed to guess which one collectors want? Is that what you want to do? Guess? No. Reach out to Tinkerbell collectors and say, which one is the real one? And I will tell you, 9 out of 10 Tinkerbell collectors will tell you the one that's in the movie. And they will tell you she's a pixie, not a fairy. Boy, she's a pixie, not a fairy. Don't get that wrong. I didn't know. Looked like a fairy to me. But what do I know? I like Tigger. Not that I don't like Tinkerbell. I love Tinkerbell, but I didn't know this about Tinkerbell. I learned a lot about Tinkerbell. I loved hearing from people who love Tinkerbell. There's no better way to hear a story than from someone who loves that character. Absolutely. It's so simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. I know some of you out there are like, it can't be that simple. Even Bob Chapek, who would be, maybe he's watching Joe, is going, it can't be that simple. It is. It really is. Jacob says, well, I have great Friday night plans for tonight. I'm going to a local You're going to Dancing with the Stars? Ooh, help fund money for my local homeless shelter. And I'm going with some of your friends. How fun is that? Jacob, that sounds fantastic. That sounds like a lot of fun. You know, when I was in Indiana, I did an amazing race. I was a clue giver during an amazing race that was the same thing. It was a local amazing race based on the show Amazing Race. And I got this cool shirt, which if I can find it, I'll show you, but I don't remember where I got it. But anyway, that's all I wanted was a t-shirt. I said, can I have one of your t-shirts? Because I love the Amazing Race. And so just like you and Dancing with the Stars, it was a local Amazing Race. And people came and you had to find out who the clue giver was. And then you know how you give the envelope if they do it was so much fun on a local level. So I'm excited for you. How excited is that? It's going to be so much fun. I'm so very, very excited. I've been talking about it all week. Yeah, it's going to be cool. I can't wait till you come back and tell me about it because I love that. I love how local groups and help charity by doing something based on something shows that you love. And I'm obsessed with Amazing Race. I'd be a horrible contestant because I remember probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I'm still fixated on it. There was number one, a challenge where the people had come in last, and in order to get back in the competition, they had to do an extra challenge, which was painting an Indian elephant for a ceremony that the Indian elephants were going to be in India. You know how they do those bright colors and everything. I never would have left. I would have been sitting with the Indian people, talking about the elephant, talking about what the symbols meant that are painted on, talking about the ceremony. And they would have been like, Terri, you're supposed to be in the race. And I'd be like, yeah, whatever. You see, so I'd be a terrible, terrible contestant. The other one was a lovely woman who had gone to an orphanage and had spent time with the children in Africa. And she was weeping when she talked about how it touched her. I never would have left. I would have been with the kids, you know? So I would be a terrible contestant. So back to you, Jacob. How exciting. Dancing with the Stars and doing it to help charity and going with your friends. That's the trifecta, buddy. So congratulations. No, you're not. Clueless Bob Chapek sounds like an old-time baseball player. But clueless could be thoughtful, right? Isn't it better that we reach out with our hearts and say that maybe, you know, with a little education and knowledge, he could be a good CEO? We haven't given him that chance, have we? Am I wrong? Because, you know, I sculpt a lot under hot lights, so maybe I'm off on this. Let me know. Disney in Yemen. Thank you. Forgive me. It's tiny on my screen for some reason. I can't wait to see Main Street Electrical Parade next month. I hope your words reach Chapek. I do. Thank you for that, sweetheart. Thank you. And I'm excited that you get to see the electrical parade. I missed it by that much. I was actually at Disneyland yesterday celebrating a client's birthday, and I missed it by that much. But it's in my heart, and I will be going back, and I will probably try and stay. You know, late night stuff is something that I'm okay with, but I still have an hour drive home after I'm done. So sometimes I can do it, sometimes not. But there are ways around that. There are solutions, like it's called a hotel room. So there you go. I made a solution to my challenge. So it's not good if we spot him at Disneyland D23 and shout, get him. Nope, not good at all. But you can say that in your head. The fin can go up on your back. You can say silently, get him. And then you swim the waters, get near him and say, Mr. Chapek, can I have a moment of your time? I just want to talk to you about some of the things that aren't right at Disneyland or Disney World. That works. Believe me, that works. That at least gets, you know, you can walk up to him. Yep. That's how you introduce yourself to someone you're impressed with, too. That's what I did with Sidney Poitier. There was no way I was walking past Sidney Poitier once my friend Debbie spotted him and almost went into convulsions when she saw him. And she was terrified. I had to drag her over to see him. Didn't let go of her hand. Drug her over to meet Sidney Poitier, her favorite actor. I said, there's some people you walk past and there's some people you don't walk past. Okay. And Sidney Poitier was huge in my life as a mixed girl. So I wanted him to, and I was very polite. I said, Mr. Poitier, if I may, I love your body of work, and you changed my life as a little girl. And if you got a minute, I'd like to tell you about it. That's what I said. And my friend Debbie, who is having the convulsions, if you are inclined, she would love a photograph if I can take a picture of you together once she gets up off the ground, having passed out, seeing you. And he laughed. And then I said, I have to say one more thing. There's about 60 women. I am with a group of women who are walking for breast cancer. And we're going to walk. It's called the 60-mile walk. And we're training. And in about 5 minutes, all of them are coming around the corner. So if you need to go, we understand. And he was like, who's going to run away from 60 women? And he spent a good 20, 30 minutes with us and answered our questions and spoke to us. It was definitely a beautiful day in Venice, California, and one I will never forget. So politeness, respect, dignity. That's what you are, a human being. So do it with dignity. I say let Florida take it on. Then maybe Florida would realize how much money they were saving. DeSantis is just playing to his base. Maybe the people that live in Orange and Osceola counties will hate him for it. Evelyn, you got a thought there. I can't really speak to that. I don't know the specifics of it, but it is a dangerous thought that's happening there. It's scary to me. Yeah. My stomach goes, uh-oh. Yeah. Here's a treat for you, a hilarious joke. Cashier at Dunkin' Donuts, have a nice day. Me, as if that was possible. Just kidding. Well, I'll tell you something that's pretty funny. I went to Disneyland yesterday, and as you know, you have to have a reservation in the Disneyland parks. That's everywhere, guys. You can't just show up. However, I did see a few people at the ticket booth, so I don't know if they were trying to see if there were tickets available for that day to get in, because some people had said, exchange their reservations, or that they were booking for later. I didn't go to the window because I wasn't really, I had my reservation. But when I went through the turnstile, what they do is you pull it up on your phone, as you know, and I have a Disney. I'm an annual pass holder. So she hits it with the little gun. Beep, it beeps and my picture shows up, right? But I've got my mask on. Now, I want you to look very carefully at me right now, okay? Now, I'm going to put a mask on. And I want to ask you sincerely, is there a difference? This compared to this, if you're trying to decide whether or not I am indeed Terri Hardin. This? Am I Terri? Am I camouflaged? Would you say if I had my mask on, I'm not Terri Hardin? Must you see this to make that decision? My answer is no. There's a lot of other aspects to Terri Hardin than that. Hello, Oscar. Hello. Welcome. I'm going to leave Oscar on here. We'll talk about him in a minute. Anyway, when I went through the turnstile, the lady says, you got to pull your mask away so I can make sure it's you. Seriously. I said, seriously to her. I said, seriously? And she just smiled at me like I had two heads. I'm just, seriously, guys. And it's not because I'm so used to having dreadlocks. All right. This is what's in the picture. Oscar, how are you? How's retirement treating you? I haven't seen you at the park lately, but that's probably more my fault than yours. It took me, I went to a employees celebration. What was it when it opened on 2021, May? What was that? May 30th or something like that, April 30th, something like that. I went with the cast members. It was wonderful. And then it took me all the months until this January 3rd for me to go back. Multitudes of reasons, but I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to have you here. The amazing Oscar Martinez, chef, master chef, chef extraordinaire. If you were at the park when he was working, and sometimes you can get a glimpse of him at the lovely little restaurant there to the left as you're walking up on, what's that, Marketplace, Oscar? Anyway, it's the place I want breakfast. I know it is the place I want breakfast. I automatically go there and want breakfast there if I'm there early enough. That's where I want to go eat breakfast, and always look for him when I'm there. Best breakfast in town. I love their breakfast, and sometimes Oscar's there. In fact, we've gone to the park together, haven't we, Oscar? We met there. We got to do that again. But anyway, he's amazing, and thank you for taking a minute to peek in today and watch me gruff about Bob Jpeck a little bit. Gruff, gruff. Hi, Susan. What Bob needs to do is make an honest statement of what his priorities are when making decisions. We know Disney needs to make money, but Disney must maintain the brand. There you go, Susan, and what a voice you have. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. The way Susan stated this is beautifully and elegantly spoken. And can you imagine if you just took a minute to listen to people like you and Susan who just say, look, we get it. But we have suggestions too. We figured we have some ideas. Why do you close the door and not let us participate? It's a crazy idea to not do that. So Susan, good for you. That's very well said. Consider joining the tribe, Susan. Your voice needs to be heard. Angie, 100% we would help. That's it. Bingo. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it because I'd spoken to you. Hi, Bella says, Ava. Joe says, yeah, I'd love to share some of my honest thoughts of how to improve the park's experience with Bob Chapek. If he actually wants to fix it, I'd love that. And Joe, you know you're easily excitable, so you can't be excitable. Do what Jim Rohn said. Wait 3 seconds before getting into an intersection. So take that breath, gather your thoughts, and then speak to him, okay? Because I know he's upset you pretty badly, as he has a lot of people. So, you know, you see him, and let's say he pops off some sarcastic comment, just take that 3 seconds, okay? Be the bigger person. I'm going to speak like it's going to happen, okay? Because I wrestled with this. If you guys saw when I posted that I was going to speak today, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. This is because I wanted to decide whether or not I should talk about this. But if I don't say this, if I don't talk about it, you know, maybe one of you out there, maybe my voice doesn't get to Bob Chapek, but maybe yours does. If some of you are influencers or bloggers or people who have groups, maybe you'll do the same and reach out and urge Bob to step out on the stage so you can help. And then maybe he'll gain the confidence to do so. Because right now, I just don't think he wants people to attack him. He doesn't want to be hit with tomatoes. He doesn't want to, so he's staying behind the curtain, and that doesn't help anybody. So I appreciate you saying this, Joe. I would love for you to, and everyone to, if you were there and asked to do it, that you would help in the best way you could. I love the Electro Parade, and so did my kids. This is my favorite parade, Diane. I love this parade. I designed floats for the Tournament of Roses. That was a bucket list thing for me. The Pasadena Tournament of Roses, the one you see every New Year's coast to coast and all over the world. I never miss it. But I'm not much for Disney parades. I think the other one I like other than Electro Parade is the Animal Kingdom one because it has puppets in it. But most of the time, the parade for me is a way to get from A to Z and ride some rides because y'all are watching the parade and I can get on the ride faster. True story. But the Electro Parade is something different. When I first saw it and when it was introduced to us all at Disneyland, I had never seen anything like that. My heart went pity-pat. I happened to be in an area where the little caterpillar or the turtle, whatever, goes wah, with the ladybug and the turtle, right? Those little ones that walk up to you and go wah, 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 and then they spin around and they walk. Oh my God, I was absolutely in love with these. And then to have a dragon in it. And Elliot the dragon from Peach Dragon. I mean, come on. I was just delighted. I was just, wow. Wow. Yeah. And so I love that they're bringing it back so you, Diane, can show it to your kids and hopefully your kids can show it to their kids. I just thought, I love this parade. And they brought it back. What did they, just before the pandemic, they brought it back and it had new exciting features that absolutely were incredible. So yeah, it's my favorite parade. So I do want to see it. Give me a second. It looked like somebody was trying to reach me. I just want to make sure it's not my father. Okay, good. It was just my imagination. Sorry, guys. This broadcast. I like to go a little bit longer than. I mean, it's longer than like an hour or so. So I've got to check, make sure my family's not freaking out. So thank you for allowing me to just check my phone. Drives me crazy when I'm at a restaurant and people do that, but sometimes you got to if you've got elderly parents, which I do. So thank you for that. But I do, Diane. I love the electrical parade. Hello, Leo. Thanks for joining us. Jacob says, well, in 1955, park admission cost $1 and the attractions cost 10 cents and 35 cents. There were 35 attractions open at Disneyland in 1955, which brought the average price per attraction to about 23 cents. Thank you, Jacob. I did not know that. I do remember that my friend Connie Lane said it cost her $2 when she first went into the park. $2. Wow. Yeah. Me, I had a Magic Key ticket, which was $7.50. Yeah, I have that one here somewhere. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing that was cool about 1955, I meant to ask Connie about this because I don't know if it was still the way it was when she was there and it was $2, was the Utopia cars didn't really have any track, did they? They had kids behind the wheel driving like without track. That's what I heard. I never experienced it. I was too busy. I was born in 1957, so I'm almost 65 years old. I first went to the park when I was 4. So 1961 was the first time I experienced the park. And that's when the flying saucers and I met and didn't want to go anywhere else. My father used to tease me, there used to be an actual rocket ship. Many of you who are close to my age remember in the middle of Disneyland, there was a rocket ship. And I went on it and we took a trip to the moon. And as a little girl, I just couldn't figure out how we were able to do it so well. We would go up into the moon and then we would come down and it would always land in the same spot. And my father said that it was because it was Walt Disney and Disneyland is a magical place. And in a magical place, that just happens, right? So I would get out of the rocket ship and I would watch it and try and see when it was going to take off to the moon. And I never saw it leave. And I tell you, as a kid, you know how your parents can be. The minute you look away, he goes, up, you missed it. And I look back and he goes, up, they're back. I have a very wonderful, whimsical father. Yes, I do. And it was wonderful for him to add to the magic of Disney that was already there. And that's what I'm talking about. All of you add the magic to Disneyland. All of you are that magical ingredient that makes it extra special. And the cast members are that wonderful ingredient that keeps it going. So I really think that Bob should talk to cast members and Bob should talk to cast members who work at the parks, okay? Let's get specific. The person who is among the people that go, that are right in the park with the guests, in the trenches, if you will. Talk to those cast members. You want to have a little bit of the problem with the cast members is this. You are a big executive, and you don't want the cast members to feel like if they speak up, they're going to lose their job. Because that's not getting a true answer. If you sit there and you tell them to speak their minds and then they're concerned that they might get fired for what they feel, that's not going to be a good environment, Bob Chapek. So don't try and fool them by telling them that. And if that's what you're going to do, then don't talk to cast members. Don't make them feel, don't put them in a situation where they worry about their favorite job. Because for a lot of people that work at Disneyland and Disney World and Disney all over the world, this is their bucket list job. They love it. They do it because of the heart. They don't do it because of the pay, do they? We all know they don't do it because of the pay. They do it because they love it. It's something that they adore doing, which is why when this woman snapped at me, I was like, whoa, maybe you should get another job. Didn't say that. Just looked at her like she had 3 heads. And then she said, oh my goodness. She realized that she had been a little bit abrupt with me and she didn't mean to. She was thinking about something else. She was training another girl at the Haunted Mansion store, and she apologized. And I said, no problem. We are human. But she was very sweet about it. She realized what she had been, how she had sounded. She didn't mean to sound that way. I gave her the opportunity. She took it. She was lovely. She was lovely. She was wonderful. And the woman who did take care of me was adorable. She was just the sweetest thing ever. So these cast members, this is what they like to do. They don't do it because they have to. They do it because this is their bucket list job. They love being a part of it. So I think, if you want to hear from them, you got to be able, maybe it's a suggestion box where they can be anonymous if you're concerned, But honestly, Bob, they see every day. They see what's going on. But you need to hear from the people that aren't getting through the gates too, that love Disney and aren't getting through the gates. Okay? Because newsflash, a lot of them are going over to Knott's Berry Farm and trying to create at least the joy of being with the people that they love, that love Disney, but can't afford to get in the walls, get in through the gate. So it's time to talk to them. That's all I'm saying. Again and again and again. Good morning, Terry and everyone. Hi, Bob Burdine. That's Rose Burdine, his wife. Hello, tribe and everyone. I'm on vacation. Randy, where are you on vacation? And thank you for joining me on your vacation. That's an awful sweet thing to say to me without saying it. Janet Cunningham, speaking of retro, it's Dapper Day this weekend too. Yeah, you're right, Janet. I was hoping to find some dappers there on Thursday. The dappers are they weren't dappering that day. I saw an occasional, I think I saw a vest maybe, but most of the people were saving their dapperness for today. And I think it's because of the electrical parade and also this weekend. And so Dapper Days will be in force, and it'll be fun to see everybody. I like Dapper Days, and I also like when they do that Dapper Days meets Bat Days. So it's kind of Bat Dapper Days. That's always cool too. I saw that one time before the pandemic. It was pretty impressive. Disney enthusiasts are so creative. Hi, Rose. You're awesome, says Darren. You're funny, that's for sure. Hello, Audrey. Robo Mickey is cute, and thank you for saying that to me. He's all hand painted, and I sat there and said, whoa. I actually, my husband, we had to go somewhere, and I was waiting for him to get finished where we were. And I painted him while waiting. So people were shy. They wanted to see it, but they didn't want to interrupt me. And I wasn't in one of my outgoing moods. I wanted to get him finished. So funny, huh? Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Great job on Robo Mickey. Thank you, Diane. That's very nice of you to say that. Ava William Frank, hello from little Bella, who's not so little anymore. Good morning, my love. That's Bob. And she says, thank you. I hope you're not sitting together in the same room. That would be really embarrassing, you two. Rose and Bob Burdine. You better not be side by side. Missing you too, Terry. Yeah, Oscar, maybe we can do lunch or something now that things are getting better. Can't wait. I've missed you. I've thought of you often, actually. Miss you a lot. Love to have you in Terry's tribe because you are a chef extraordinaire. And I got some people, we've been doing cooking challenges, Oscar. We haven't really challenged each other. We just been kind of sharing some of the cool things. It was an avocado toast challenge there for a while, thanks to Evan Hunter. It just sort of happened, it was fun. It is fun. I learned how to make a good sunny side up egg there. Thank you. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. Yeah. Think about it. TerriHardin.com, patreon.com/Terri Hardin. Yeah. Susan, yes, I would let Bob know what I think about how he handles Walt's company and legacy. And you do it with dignity, Susan, because I feel it coming across the airwaves to me. And I want to thank you for that. And I know you're in good company. A lot of people would be generous with their thoughts and with what they could think, what they feel could help him shift to take care of not only what they need, but what you need. She truly is, just for putting up with me. He means his wife. Good morning, Miss Bella, says Bob. And Bella says hello to Bob and Rose. You guys are, I'm just popping them up here. Diane says, I agree, would be wise to ask the fans' opinion, but only the fans that can be polite. Yeah. Now, sometimes a fan, it's kind of like what I do here, Diane. And that is, I say, if you want to debate, but make it about the debate and don't attack the person making the comment. Okay, because that's insulting their character, and that's when problems happen. And the ears, have you ever found out if someone is telling you that they say to you, well, that's just the stupidest idea I've ever heard, you're pretty lame, or whatever they say, and you're like, you shut down, you go, okay, I'm done, I don't want to talk to this person, or whatever. That's what happens when you insult somebody's character or their person. They shut down. It's like la 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 la. They don't hear you, and you can't get your idea across. So that's why it's very important to wait those 3 seconds. Think about what you're going to say, especially if your first is like, oh, how dare you say that? Breathe, breathe, breathe. So that I'm sorry you feel that way, or that was inappropriate. That was unnecessary, not inappropriate. That's unnecessary for you to talk to me that way. I'm only trying to help. And then hopefully they'll feel a little silly because you're being a bigger person than them. Yeah. So that's why I say that. So you're absolutely right, Diane. Francisca, how are you, my love? I'm hoping to go to the show and sale with granddaughter so that she can meet you. And I would love to meet her, and then love to have them and extend that knowledge and invitation. Can't wait to see you guys there. I'd love to see you guys there. I'm so lucky. I'm so fortunate to be celebrated this way. It's very kind. Disneyland should be, the Disney people. Let's talk about someone who has a big bone to pick with Disney. They haven't made me a legend yet I have my work in 3 of their parks, maybe 4. Lost count. So I deserve to be a legend. Okay. I'm also a real good representative for the brand, but instead they're giving it to people who I feel they think will make their brand go further, instead of people who have made their brand what it is. So I keep saying, time for Disney to recognize me as a legend. But you know what? The fans recognize me is all the better. So I appreciate this. I'm really grateful to everyone who's on board with this. It touches my heart in ways I cannot explain. So thank you. Thank you so much. Means so much. I have to go to work with my 6th graders. I will come back later. Have a wonderful day. You too, Miss Rose. You have a wonderful day. I just inhaled a drop. I don't know what I did. That was weird. All right. Just means I should have a little bit of tea. Ava, how are you? Good morning to all. Wishing everyone a wonderful weekend. Ava, I saw some of your crochet work, and it's really cool. I just wanted to mention that to you as you wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Your work is just lovely. Why is the company hiring anyone who has never been in a major attractions or even visited the parks? You think that's an insane idea? All right. I'm glad you asked this question. I don't know that you were actually asking it. Forgive me. But here's the deal. Okay. A corporation looks at another corporation's track records. Okay. If another corporation is moving up well, they look at that and say, maybe if we bring that person over, they can help our corporation. Okay. And that person may have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the new corporation, but they feel that they can take their boat and lift it as they lifted the boat of the corporation they were in, which is why at one point, I don't know if they still did it, Disney brought some people over from Nike. That's why I use Nike as an example. There's a man named Michael O. Johnson who used to work at Disney as a CEO for the video and online stuff, as I understand it. I don't really research it, but he was brought in as a CEO of Herbalife. He was a healthy guy, but was he actually involved with Herbalife before that? The answer is no. But they thought what his knowledge from the Disney company might help Herbalife, and indeed he did. And so it's not, they don't look at the same criteria, Joe, that we do, and which is why we are the ones that Disney should be asking. I mean, not when they're hiring, but if they have a CEO, the number one thing it should be is acquaint yourself with the corporate policies and how we do things and how it runs and who you go answer to and who you speak to and our hierarchy, our chain of command, our chain of all our rules and regulation. And when you're done with that book, then we're going to need you to hold a meeting with the people who are our shareholders and our fans. Okay? Because that's the best way to get to know the heart of Walt Disney, the heart of what Disney means, the heart of Disney as a company, is to talk to the people who love it. That's what should be in the massive manual if you're going to be a CEO, especially if you're coming from someplace that knows nothing about theme park, how to run a theme park. Okay? Other theme parks will tell you that if you run our theme park, you still need to understand how to run our theme park as opposed to your theme park. Okay. You can bring in your ideas and you can bring your suggestions, but you need to remember what is the basis of our theme park, Knott's Berry Farm, for example. Yeah. They have Imagineers there. Universal has Imagineers there, and Universal has their ways of doing things. And they say, we want to benefit from your knowledge. We want to benefit it in our park. Okay, we don't want to be Disneyland, but we want to be as successful as Disneyland, if not more successful. If you can help us do that, we want you on board. You understand? So Nike's a huge brand. So why not invite them? If you also agree to help educate them with the people who are passionate about the park, and that's you guys. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but that's the truth. That's absolutely the truth. Bonnie, also good morning. Have today off. Headed to Carmel. Big serve for the international. Oh, are you going to run it? Bonnie attempting the 11. Oh, Bonnie, awesome. How have you been? Miss your energy. Bonnie, go get him, little tiger. Are you going to come May 14th to I'd love to see you at the dinner. At the Disneyana Fan Club dinner. First of all, you're a lovely addition, you and your family, and would love to see you there if you want to be a part of Disneyana Fan Club. If you do, hit me up. Let me know. If you can only make it to the dinner, let me know. If you only want to be at the dinner, there's a way to do it, guys. Just reach out to me and I'll let you know about that, okay? The new movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, is an amazing movie. Hopefully you and Lizzie will be able to see it soon. Yes, Darren. I have heard nothing about this movie except for people really love it. So I'm looking forward to seeing it just as soon as it's not packed. The theaters have been packing, so we don't go with a full theater because of the pandemic. My husband knew. So we just wait until it gets a little lean. That's how we saw Spider-Man. That's how we saw Batman. When we finally saw Spider-Man, is it No Way Home? Forgive me, I'm not a Marvelite, but my husband really wanted to see it. And turns out it's an amazing movie. It's really good. We actually bought that movie. But to answer your question, there were 4 people in the theater when we saw it because we had waited that long. And then Batman, we waited and there were 10 people in the full theater. Yeah, and we did the seats, the lounge seats, because there's walls between. So you're extra safe. Yeah, and just sat where no one else would. Yeah, it's cool. So we'll wait, but we will see Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, as soon as it's a little less viewed. Yeah. Jenna, hello. Back. It's good to hear from you. Stay well. Yeah, that was probably Bella giving you a shout out, buddy. Would Disney ever hire a person who had never seen Disney movie as the head of filmed entertainment? If so, they're cuckoo. It sounds cuckoo, okay? I'm going to give you that, Joe. It sounds crazy, okay? Who sits with Disney artists and chooses Haunted Mansion stuff to be merchandising for a Haunted Mansion anniversary event and never gone on the attraction? Disney did it. Yeah, they did. I turned to my boss that was helping to make sure my art was good, and I said, I'm not saying another word until we take them on the attraction, and we did. It's a nice thing about being a Disney executive. You can go on the ride. All you have to do is say you're a Disney executive and you go to the front. You don't even have to stay in line. So why aren't you riding every ride? And why isn't it mandatory, as Joe says? So to answer your question, yes, if they were someone who was magnificent at doing film and getting film DVDs out there, had this thinking idea that was taking the world by storm, and selling, they would bring him in. Oh, yes, they would. Or her. They bring him or her in. Yeah. They want to know what they were doing, but first they would need to educate them with Disney films. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's an absolute yes. They've done it before. Mm-hmm. But you need to say that Disney movies are not like all movies. Like, one of the things that bothers me is they're muddying the G rating of Walt Disney Pictures. You know, one of the things that Michael Eisner did was he created a Hollywood Pictures, he wanted a way, forgive me, I need my breakfast at some time. They wanted to figure a way to do a Disney film that was a little not G rated, but he didn't want to spoil the brand of Disney films. So he came up with like Hollywood Pictures. And that way he could do R-rated films or PG-rated films or things like that. And now Disney instead is kind of muddying the original brand. A parent sometimes is shocked when they take the kids to what they think is a G film that's not going to traumatize them, and their kids get traumatized. So I thought that that's one of the things that Michael Eisner had that was a good idea. You know, he had a few ideas, but that one was a good one, I thought, because you all knew the second brand, and you all knew that it was the more, you know, a picture you don't take your kids to until you've screened it first, because it was under the Hollywood Picture logo. Yeah. I think that's a good idea if you want to do, you know, family films. The only challenge is that Disney was saying that a lot of people were going to family films, but now family films are a challenge for parents. They would love a nice G-rated film to be able to take their kids to and not have to worry about screening it first. You know, there's not a lot of those out there. I think it's a area that could be buffed up. You could do a lot of good ones where you keep it G, you keep it fun, you keep it a little intriguing for children on a children's scary level. I'm talking about the ages of 3 and 4 and 5, where you're not, you know, hitting them with something super scary. Don't show them Cujo. But if you want to have a Cujo, want something like Cujo, which is devastating. I mean, Old Yeller is a movie that I think Walt felt could, you know, I think that Eisner felt that could have been under Hollywood Pictures, because you have to be a certain age to actually understand Old Yeller and realize what the message of Old Yeller is. But it is painful. It is a movie you're not going to not cry through. And so I think this is kind of the thing he was thinking about, that if you have a child that might be forever influenced by a movie like that, that maybe it goes into another level. So a parent has kind of a book that they can go by, because they're busy raising their kids and, you know, having to screen the movie that they need to see. You know, I mean, I thought, you know, that's what would happen. A joke just for you. Okay, this is for Bella. Here we go. What do kids play when they can't play with a phone? Board games. LOL. I'm only laughing because I love board games spelled the other way, not board games spelled the way you spelled it. Jacob, you're so silly. How can you tell the Snow White story without the poison apple? Darren, I got to tell you something. That just, I tell you, it felt like Snow White. When I saw the thing at Disneyland, it looked like Snow White and the prince were millennials. No offense to millennials, but millennials were raised with the phones. And so that's the way a lot of them communicate, and they communicate through the internet, and communicating face to face is more challenging for anyone born after that time. And I get it. In fact, this is why I think shows like Love is Blind is good, because you're listening to the voice of the person. You're not you're not swiping left or right or whatever you do. I've never done it, because you're doing it based on their looks, and it might even not be their real picture. So this is challenging for the young today. So this hi, hey business with Snow White is just too much. We got to be careful. We got to be careful. You guys need to watch the original Spencer Tracy Inherit the Wind movie. Black and white, brilliant, has a lot to say, and flashes in front of my eyes consistently. When I see something like the Snow White ride, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh, stop. Okay, Bella, here's another one. How does Darth Vader like his toast on the dark side? What does a cloud wear under his raincoat? Thunderwear. Oh, Jacob, the two of you could do a joke book. You know that, don't you? You and Bella could actually do a joke book. I'm not kidding. You two are too much. LOL, just kidding. He always does LOL, just kidding. Like we think he's serious. You are too much, Jacob. You crack me up. Darren says, here you go, Bella. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? Hey! The P is silent. Darren. Oh, I was getting worried about that one, buddy. You can see what happens. The jokes start to come in here. Yeah. Disneyland. It's 2 a.m. then, so I don't think mommy or grandma will let me. Yeah, 2 a.m. then? Yeah. I could go later, and maybe we'll talk about a time when, because I know you try real hard to join us on the calls in the morning, but would love to have you if you could make it, Bella. We miss you. Rob Van D says, do you think Disney will ever bring back Paint the Night? I'd like them to. I don't know if they will. But wouldn't it be nice if they asked you, Rob? Then you could say, hey, how about bringing Paint the Night back? Even if they had a place where you could make these suggestions that they referred to online, wouldn't that be nice? I don't know. It seems very simple to me. Sherry Langley, how are you? You are passing. So Sherry Langley, who's my friend through Foster Farms, the chickens. If you don't know what they are, ask me later. She says she's passing through New York to Maine. Rick says hi. Hey, Rick, and I have never been to Maine. I would love to be in Maine. I hear Maine is gorgeous and beautiful and exciting, and I would love to go there. It is actually a bucket list because I hear, well, it's a little place, and it has cold weather, really cold weather. It has snow. I love snow. And it just sounds like a great place to visit. I really want to visit. And word has it, Maine is the place to get a good lobster roll, like for real, a good one. Not a maybe good one, a really good one. So I would love to check all that out. Thanks for popping in, Sherry. Bob Burdine was saying that Bob Chapek was at Disneyland in Anaheim yesterday. Yeah, and if I'd have seen him, I'd have walked up to him. I didn't see him. But believe me, had I seen him, I'd have walked up, introduced myself kindly, asked him if I could have a minute of his time. He probably might have said no. Because when you draw attention in the middle of Disneyland, you'd be like, maybe I... So he probably was, he probably was being a little more, careful. WWS was, yes, we get it. Atlanta, despite their backwards thinking, Atlanta because it was a place they could film and create because Atlanta was giving them perks to film there. Georgia saw the opportunity to make some money for their state, and they jumped on it. As other states, if you Google, other states are already offering Walt Disney World a home. We'll help you out. Guys, it wasn't even 24 hours after I said that on Monday that these offers weren't coming out. Right now, they're kind of a giggle, but that doesn't mean they'll stay that way. Oh, couldn't possibly happen. Yes, it could. Take it from a state who thought the same thing. Disney is the largest employer in Florida. Yes, Evelyn, they are. That should be a comment twice, Evelyn. You got to know which side your bread is buttered on and be prepared if they walk away. As an artist, I've often told you that if you want to get what you're worth, if you want to talk to somebody about what you're worth, you need to speak to them in a good manner and tell them what you're worth. And if it doesn't happen, what are you prepared to do? Are you prepared to walk away and let the door hit you in the butt on the way out? How far are you willing to go? Sometimes you want to stay, and that means that you won't go as far as one who says, I'm perfectly happy to leave. Okay? But that's what I'm talking about. Florida, you have to know what happens if Disney says, okay, We're packing up our carpet bag and we're Mary Poppins out of here. Uh-huh. What are you going to do? Are you ready for that? Because as Evelyn says, they are the largest employer in Florida. And I believe, I could be wrong, Evelyn, you may know better, they are the largest employer of people in their silver years, retirement age people. They are the largest employer of the silver years, seniors, of anyone, I think. I think it's in the country. I know they're up there in the country. Maybe not number one, but they're up there. So, lots to think about, my friends. Lots to think about. I hope you are, Florida. I hope you are. Joe says, imagine if Walt Disney World actually shut down permanently and demolished everything. Then they reopened several years later in Australia or somewhere. Or, Joe, opened somewhere else in another state in California. What was it? I saw 4 states offer. We have land. We have a place. Come, Disney, and join us. I knew they'd do it. Of course they'd do it. So many of you have wished there was a Disneyland closer to where you live. And a lot of you have land. Be careful, Florida. Be careful what you wish for. DeSantis is pure and utterly evil. Randy, this person is misguided. Okay? I'm not going to say he's evil, but what I will say is he's believing too much of his own press. He thinks he has power where he doesn't. And he's going to do something to his state that could devastate the entire state. So guys, listen to this person with a grain of salt, all right? That's what I'm going to say. I don't know enough about him, but I do know that the things he's doing for Florida are not good. So Randy, I respect your opinion. I just won't say those words just yet because I'm not that knowledgeable. But what I do know is that here in California, the people of Hollywood thought there would never be productions going to other places. And now we're trying to help it to not happen because it was exploded. It exploded. Runaway production is an issue that we deal with all the time now, every day, because we didn't think it was something to worry about when it was actually happening. So we need to, I'm just saying, danger, danger. Think about it before you create such a bill and you put such a bill in and you agree to such a bill. And then your justification is they don't have to worry about it until 2023. That gives them time to prepare their plan, doesn't it? Yeah, that's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it here on my channel. Joe says Disney cruises should also stop porting in Florida and relocate to Puerto Rico or Virginia or the Carolinas or Georgia. See, look at Joe making suggestions on where they could. Unfortunately, they just did Fort Lauderdale. That would make them real sad. So there's a lot of things a lot of hoops they would have to jump through if they were going to walk away. But trust me, if they do their numbers and it looks like it's not going to be a good place to be, don't think they won't go somewhere else. You got people there with their hands open going, we'll catch you. Come be with us. You know, do you think Puerto Rico, Virginia, Carolinas, or Georgia would say no? Seriously? If Disneyland said, hey, we're thinking of coming over there, they'd be like, yeah, whoop, whoop, happy dance. Come on. They would. They would. And there's other states that are offering too. Okay. Disney's got a lot to consider. You got to consider the weather. You've got to consider the location. You got to consider how easy it is to get in and out of. There's a lot of things that has to be considered. So it's not an easy decision to make. But if you force the hand of Disney is a big dog in the hunt, guys. They have the ability to figure it out. So be careful, Florida. That's all I'm saying. And you have a very good point, Joe. He's playing to his base. Evelyn is absolutely correct. She's absolutely correct. DeSantis is talking to DeSantis people like someone else used to talk to his people. And we will not give people like them too much press because they don't deserve it. Darren says DeSantis is just being spiteful and vindictive. He isn't looking at the big picture. I'm not sure that's his case. If he is, shame on him. He's a politician, of course. There are politicians that are shameful and spiteful. Yes, they are. Yes, there are. So, without getting into too much politics, which I really don't think is a place for Facebook or YouTube personally, he's playing to the people who say he's wonderful. They're puffing him up. And he's loving being puffed up on a cloud. They're putting a big, big pedestal, and he'll say things and they go, rah, but it's you got to be careful. You got to look. I mean, Florida's a big state. So you got to look at all of Florida. You can't just look at this little group. You need to talk to all of Florida. But again, that's what I've been saying in this whole thing today. And thank you for staying with me. All of you staying with me and talking to me as we go, as we make our way to 2 hours. If Universal Studio follows and also relocates, people would start moving out of Florida. You think? You think? And I'm not saying that Universal will do that, but Universal is going to, if you owned an amusement park in Florida and you saw this happen to Disney, what would you be thinking? Pretend you're the person who owns these other amusement places in Florida. What would you be saying? Am I next? That's what I think they would be saying. They'd at least entertain the thought. Maybe they would dash the idea. Oh, no. But maybe they wouldn't. Point well taken. I love the Amazing Race show. We should talk, Terry. Yes, Darren, I do too. I haven't watched it recently because I don't have a lot of time to watch television. I've been trying to watch a thing on Prime my husband wants, which is like Cowboys Meet the Extraterrestrial World. And it sounds really cool, but I haven't had a chance to watch it. I told my husband he could go ahead and watch it. Don't wait for me and then tell me if I should. The same with Moon Knight. I got bored and I said, honey, why don't you watch the whole thing and then let me know when it's dropped so I can watch it all the way through, because piecemeal isn't working for me in this particular series on Disney Plus. It's just not happening for me. It's just not looking good. So yeah, I just haven't had the chance. I don't have a chance to watch a lot of television. I have to listen to a lot of TV. And if I listen to it because I'm working, then, it's got to be something that I know really well. So I'm listening to Godzilla movies, which I can almost recite verbatim, especially this new disc set, which I've watched over and over again because I love it. And Doc Martin series, I love that series. Kung Fu series, I love that series. Downton Abbey, I love Downton Abbey. Can't wait if the movie is for real going to drop and not be another cat toy that's taken away from me as I get closer to summer. Really want to see Downton Abbey. I love it. So it's ones that I know real well already that I watch because I can hear them as opposed to watch them with my eyes. So I don't watch a lot of new stuff unless I can focus on it. And that doesn't happen very often. I'm a very busy lady lately and don't get that opportunity much because I got stuff to do. So yeah. Want to help you guys, as part of it. Yeah. Hi, Terry. Do you think Disney will ever bring back Paint the Night Parade? Says RP Digger. I don't know. But you know what? There's a way that you could ask. Yeah. Make it your mission to find out. Ask cast members when you're at the parks. Ask them, see what they say. See if you go to City Hall. You can ask City Hall. A lot of times City Hall sometimes has some inside knowledge that they might share with you or give you a name that you might write to who runs parades. But I don't know. I hope they do. That's a popular one. Bob Burdine says, Terry, that is one of the many genius moves you have done. And by the way, directed to your Ask Me Anything event, join the Patreon group. It's much fun and informative. This is not a paid advertisement. It's true. Thank you, Bob. Bob is one of my members and he really helps us with a lot of stuff. So there's all kinds of levels in this tribe. People that do all different kind of things. Some people are custodial, some are cast members, some are like Bob. He is about they do a lot of charity events. He has family that works at the Disneyland park, so he shares with us some of their insights. You've got a chef. You've got artists, of course, because I'm an artist. You've got young people who want to learn how they can make a living being an art in today's world, which I speak on quite a bit. And then we just have discussions all the time. And then you have the amazing Bella in the UK, Liz Reed in the UK, Anna Diaz in Forgive me, Anna. It's been a long day. But anyway, I've got people in France. I've got people in Portugal. I've got people all over, and they're wonderful. And you get to hear from all walks of life. So join it, patreon.com/Terri Hardin. Check it out. We won't clasp on you and make you, but for $5 a month, $60 a year, it's a good deal. It is. It is. And you need to know about it. Jacob says, it's at a local art center in our town. Oh, really? Yes. The dance show. Yes. How fun. It's going to be great. I can't wait to hear more about it, Jacob. It's going to be fantastic. Another plug to the Patreon tribe, says Darren, an amazing group of people. Darren's a part of it too. And you've seen how knowledgeable Darren is as he adds his comments here. He brings that knowledge to us. And he's also an artist in music, a teacher, recently retired, but his music knowledge is very helpful to people. I recently did a painting that involved music, and he told me that even though it was kind of abstract, I did it right. So it was great to hear from Darren because he knows that stuff and I don't. See, who did I ask? Music? Ask someone who knows music. Okay. He says, Terry's an inspiration, but the entire tribe is supportive and sheer knowledge and the love is amazing. And it is. I'm just saying, I thought when I created this tribe for people to come and chat with me that I would have to bear the weight of the entire tribe. And I don't, because I have a ton of shoulders that share it with me and to help each other. Sometimes when I'm not around, well, all the time when I'm not around, they help each other. Okay. So if you're feeling melancholy, if you're feeling like the world is going to heck in a handbasket, then step on the island of Terry's tribe. And learn that people are kind and sweet and wonderful there and want to help you. Okay? Thank you, Darren. That's so sweet of you. Oscar Martinez, I'm doing great, Terry. Yep, you should join the tribe, Oscar. Your voice needs to be heard. I got a joke too. A rock drummer got very depressed about his bad timing. It got so bad that he decided to end it all and threw himself behind a train. What? Oh, at least he wanted to survive, right? He threw himself behind a train. Oh, you're too funny. That's one you got to think about, right? You got to listen to it. Threw himself behind the train. Oscar is a legend. Indeed, Oscar is a legend. Wouldn't he be great in the tribe? Yeah, he'd be great in there. Yes, we do need to have a Disney trip again and enjoy the park. Absolutely, Oscar. We'll talk about it, eh? Yeah, you may have a lot of friends there coming with me. They all want to, if they don't know you, they all want to meet you because you are a legend. You're history, you're Disney history. And with that, you're as excited. We get excited about seeing you like we used to get excited about Ernie Gunny. And now we are fighting for Ernie to come back. And I'm glad they brought you back to come and chat with us when we're having breakfast or food at where you used to work, because it's always a pleasure to see you there. Always a pleasure. And there, Jenna, which is Bella, is laughing at the jokes. How have you been doing? Busy girl. I am doing a Rolly Crump chess set. More on that later. Working on the bishop. And then I have what do I have left? I have the rook, the king, and the pawn left after I finish. I should finish, hoping today to finish the bishop. And then I get to go see Rolly Crump May 1st. So I'm so excited. We're actually going to get together on that day. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'll share more of that. It's really, yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. And then I'm being honored by the Disney Anna Fan Club International for being a Disney legend. And I'm going to be on stage with Kim Irvine, who, when I first was introduced to Disneyland as a Disney artist, Kim Irvine was the veteran heavy hitter artist that I got to ride her coattails on as I was first introduced. So she means a lot to me, even though we haven't really gotten to speak since that day, but I've kind of followed her career and watched her on things and went and saw the Club 33 that she designed when she's just great. So I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to seeing her too. So Oscar, maybe you want to come. It's in Anaheim. and it's at the Disneyana. It's at the Disneyana fan club. It's their event, May 14th. If you want to come, email me, or reach out to me and say, and then later I'll tag you in Messenger, right? If you want to. At the Carnation Cafe, my official restaurant, or another park restaurant. No. Carnation Cafe is my favorite. Where you were, where you walk around and you shake hands with people. It's not fair for me to try to exclusively have you to myself when so many people want to shake your hand and tell you how much they love you. You deserve that every time you go to the park. So we'll go to the park. They'll know you more than me. But that's what I love about going with you. MSEP is true and pure Disney magic, but I do miss Spectra magic. See, all you guys can talk about all of these different things, and you could, reach out. If Liz Reed reaches out to Disneyland Paris to say to them, she goes out on a limb to tell them, why wasn't I in Disneyland Paris? You guys can find a way to do this too. Find the people you need to get in their ear what you're feeling about these parades, okay? Joe says, yeah, I get emotional and passionate, but I can also be reasonable and mature. I know that about you, Joe. That's why I'm talking to you about this, right? If I actually met Bob Chapek, I wouldn't bite his head off at all. If I could have a genuine discussion with him about the parks and the company in general, I'd be very I know you would. I know you would. I'm glad you say this here, but I know you would be such a great person. All of you would. All of you would. Because you guys are thoughtful, intelligent, passionate human beings, all of you out there, and you're just trying to fight for your family, the Disney family. When you see something going wrong in your family, you want to protect it and you want to save it, which is one of the reasons Bob Chapek should be talking to you about the family. He's being brought into the family. And he's sitting in the corner, not talking to anybody. And the whole family is staring, going, what is it about us you don't want to share with us or talk with us? It's sad. It's very sad. Yeah. Good job, Joe. Good job. I am not a fan of parades, but I love the electrical parade. I'm sure at one visit we saw Michelle Pfeiffer as Alice. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I love Michelle Pfeiffer. I cosplayed. She was my favorite Catwoman. So I built a Catwoman suit that was based on her Catwoman. That would have been really cool. That would have been seriously cool. Yeah, I adore the electrical parade. It's the one I really go to. Yeah, the others, they're okay. I just like that one. Yeah. Atopia was nicknamed by the cast members as Blood Alley. Someone got hit daily. Connie, I remember seeing this. I remember first realizing it as a young age. Did they not have tracks? And I was like, what was that like? I mean, I just... I'm not surprised. I was blown away. I got to tell you, I was like, some ideas work and some ideas don't, right? You kind of wish, Connie, that they had tested it before, but I do remember hearing that Walt Disney was on a time crunch and so was his brother Roy. So they just had to go with what they thought and fix it along the way. The Mickey and Minnie that were originally built were ghastly. They were very scary looking. So, you fix things as you go along, and as well they do. And someone like Walt, as you have told me, Connie, he was always looking to the future. What can I do to improve? What can I do to improve? And that's what that's what these CEOs need to remember. They need to take that on. They need to say, how can we improve it? How can we make it better for the people there? Connie Lane had was an ambassador for Disney. And if you don't know what that is, Google it. It's not my story to tell. But one of the things she did say was Walt was always in the park and he was always thinking, she would be next to him in certain areas and he would be thinking. He wouldn't just be enjoying. He would be thinking, okay, I that bothers me. This bothers me. This view we got to fix that. That's got to be redone. His brain was always working. And I worked with Henry Selick, who is the stop motion animator genius for James and the Giant Peach and Nightmare Before Christmas, et cetera, et cetera. And when talking to Henry, he never looked at me. He always looked like kind of over here. And sometimes down here when he talked. And I always wondered, why isn't he looking at me? But he was thinking, how can I improve this film? Is this section working? Is that section working? And he'd be talking to you, but his mind would be on the improvements of his dream, his masterpiece. So this is what a CEO needs to do. I think you would agree, Connie. They need to have that mindset. How can we improve? What would make this better? How is this good? What is good about this? What can we do here? And yeah, so forgive me. Not quite sure why my nose is weird today, but live and learn. But yes, Connie, I just think this is unbelievable. When I saw it, I saw videos of it. I was like, how do they do that? Yeah. Not all ideas are great, right? Thank you, Joe Penny. Yes. Good. Snow White ride, Easter vacation, 1967, Catholic school day, says Diane. Cheaper to get in that day. I was 18 and I took my 4-year-old brother to Snow White. The witch with the apple scared the heck out of my little brother, Michael. As we came out of the ride, he was yelling at the cast members. LOL, I'm the oldest of 7. No one else in my family ever reacted that way. It was funny and embarrassing at the same time. See, as a kid back then, I loved to be scared and to survive it. I love Mr. Toads because I can go to hell and come out talking about it. I live to tell about it. But nowadays, people are saying that if a child is traumatized, the ride needs to be changed so the child is not traumatized. I think you as an adult or someone, if it happens, explain to your child that it is an attraction and it is a fairy tale. And bad things happen in life and you don't want to be traumatized by them. You got to live and learn and get over it. You don't want someone coming and poisoning you in an apple, but you're not a princess either. Okay. It's just my feeling is everything can't be, you can't wrap your children up in a bubble wrap because life isn't bubble wrapped, unfortunately. And this is why we're having a lot of depression happening in young people, because I think some people are just protecting them a bit too much. And I would have loved not being beaten or my hair set on fire or things happening because people didn't like the fact that I looked white and was half black. I'm sure my parents would have loved to take me out of school, homeschool me, keep me protected. But the fact that I had to stand up for myself on several occasions made me a stronger person. And I'm not saying the kids need to be through this. Don't underestimate it. But the kiss, I'm sorry, don't make everything don't paint a picture of euphoria every time a child turns around. They got to know that some things in their life will happen that are negative. And hopefully it's only that Disney's at a Dole Whip. Okay. That I pray is the biggest trauma kids get. But there are traumas, they're going to have a time when they lose a family pet. And they need to know that this happens and how can they cope with it so that when they're adults, they can cope with it better. It's not easy. It's never easy, but we can't wrap them in bubble wrap, I think is what I'm trying to say. I hope I said that right. And if you disagree or you want to correct me on something, please feel free to post it in the comments. I'm more than willing to listen. But, But I see what you're saying about your little brother, Diane, and I think this is why people wanted certain things changed. They don't want your little brother to freak out. There's a Haunted Mansion store. Where is it? Joe, have you ever been? Were you at the park when they had the antique store right there next to Pirates of the Caribbean? Oh, I love that store. It used to have the original, they had 2 cases from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea that my husband kept trying to buy as they were display cases, and Disney kept saying, no, we're not selling it for the 50 millionth time. But my husband kept trying. Now they're in Mr. Lincoln, I believe, those 2 cases that were actually in that film, my husband's favorite film. But it's there. So right next to Pirates of the Caribbean and Blue Bayou, there's a Haunted Mansion store. It's all Haunted Mansion hats. I saw a fan yesterday that was really pretty. Globes, watches, clothing, pins, all Haunted Mansion. Yep, all Haunted Mansion. And what's interesting about the Haunted Mansion store, which I love, which you may or may not know about, I'm going to take another bite, is that when Disneyland changes it over to Nightmare Before Christmas in October, the store does the same. So then it becomes a Nightmare Before Christmas store. For the duration, the Haunted Mansion is Nightmare Before Christmas. Clever, huh? Really nice. My client and friend, Frank, wears that hat so well. And he loves that particular style of hat. It doesn't always look good on everybody, but on Frank, it looks great. And so when I saw that hat, I flipped because he loves the Haunted Mansion, and I couldn't get over how cute. And Frank doesn't really shop. Frank likes to people watch. He likes to go on attractions. He likes to do some food and beverage, right? He doesn't really go in to shop for stuff. So I knew that I could, with confidence, purchase this hat for his birthday, and it's something that he likes and loves. And so I did a lot of considering. There are a few other things there he probably would have liked also, but that hat just spoke to me, and he can wear it anywhere. See, this is the thing I like. You know, maybe he likes goofy, but a goofy hat you really can't wear anywhere, can you? That ears with the nose and all of that. It's fun when you wear it at a park, but you can't wear it. But there you can wear a little, a little Haunted Mansion chapeauism, and you can wear it anywhere. Dress it up, dress it down. It really looks good. And so I was really excited to get it, but I was concerned because they only had one size. And I couldn't very well have him trade it. I wanted it to be a surprise. So there happened to be a man standing next to me, and I said, this is going to really sound weird, but could you do me a favor? And he was like, what? And I said, would you try on this hat? Because I have a friend who wears this hat, and I want to see if this fits you. And he was very sweet to try it on because he was bald also. A lot of people say that men are sad when they're bald. Maybe they are, but I know the bald man, once he showers for the first time, says, wow, 5 minutes, 20-minute shower down to 5. Woohoo! So I've heard that from my cousin who's been, bald almost since birth. But he talks, they all talk about how nice it is to just wash and go. So anyway, he was very sweet. He tried it on because he said, I don't think it's going to fit me. I have a bigger head. And he put it on and he looked great. I said, wow, you look great in this. Thank you for doing that. And I knew, and it fit Frank beautifully. So I was really excited about that. But it's a chance for him to wear a hat around. And I like when Disney does stuff like that. But Joe, that's where it is. It's got jackets. It had all kinds of cool things. It's one of the better stores. It's got a lot of classy merchandise. It's got some cheesy stuff too. You got to have some cheese, a little wine with your cheese, a little cheese with your wine. So, but it's really cool. I think you really enjoy it. They also had keys. The people who like to collect those metal keys, they had Haunted Mansion keys there. It's a great store right there between Pirates of the Caribbean and the Blue Bayou. And right now it's really easy to find because Pirates of the Caribbean is under construction and the Blue Bayou is closed. So boom, it's like the one store you can walk into right now. So I was happy it was Haunted Mansion store. I really was happy. Steampunk Days would meet with Dapper Days. I'll be there all dressed dapper Saturday and Sunday. Janet, it's going to be a lot of fun. Please share with us some of your pictures and photos and how much fun you're having, okay? Rose and Bob are sharing the same chair and keyboard. Exactly. By Haunted Mansion. The name is Memento Mori. Okay. There you go. The thing is, though, it's the only, Jpeck is an embarrassment to all Bobs. Right now he is. Okay, and I'm not going to say he's going to change. I'm just working hard to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know how I am, Bob. I thought about this for a long time. We talked about it on Zoom, didn't we? And a couple of people who talked with him right directly on our Zoom with the tribe said he was clueless. So that got me to thinking. And again, the tribe comes to the rescue again, which is why I'm doing this today. This is why I'm chatting with y'all today. Yeah, about Bob Chapek is because there were people. And Connie Lane says, good morning to Miss Bella. Oh, that was sweet of you to say that, Connie. Janet says they were supposed to have Tiki Land Day on Sunday. I was looking forward to that day too, but they changed it to September so it wouldn't interfere with Dapper. Dapper is later this year. It's usually the second weekend in April. Yeah, I would imagine, because sometimes it can be very warm at this time of year, but we're lucky it's great weather. And so the Dappers don't get overheated, right? April's kind of a little safer, isn't it? But I'm glad they did that, because I'm very curious about Tiki Day. I want to make a tiki. I want to make a tiki cup. I'm really excited about making a tiki cup. So I'll be talking to you tiki folks out there to learn about it, because what do? Talk to you. That's right. That's what I do. You have work in 4 parks. See? Time flies when you're having fun. Randy points out why I should be a Disney legend authorized by the Disney company. You swallowed a bug. If I had one in here, probably did. My protein for the day. It's Janet says, in between the veranda and the pirate shop, just down from the POTC exit, the Pirates of the Caribbean exit, except for there is no there is no Pirates of the Caribbean exit because it's all blocked off. It really is weird. It's like when you go through Adventureland instead of Frontierland, it's like Jungle Cruise, and then it's like Indiana Jones, and then it's wood, all through New Orleans. And it's just a strange thing. And then more wood. So there's lots of wood. There's lots of construction going on, which is great. I'm not complaining, believe me, but it is weird. It's just a weird feeling. I've never seen that before. So it's very bizarre. They're doing some nice improvements, kind of exciting actually. But it's very easy to find that shop now because it's the only one open. Pandora's open too, but that's the only one open that's right around that. You can go around the corner. Boom, there it is, the only one open. So you'll really enjoy it. I would think that any new executives, especially in Parks Division, should be required to visit at least one park, yes, and experience at least the major attractions before they start making any decisions. When I became an Imagineer, I walked the rides. I walked the one that I was going to be working on for Paris, and then I also got to choose 2 others to walk through as a gift, and we went to Disneyland and walked them. Yeah, it was great. It was great. You got to pick. Okay, so the one ride I really wanted to know about was Pirates of the Caribbean. I've said this before because I couldn't figure out how it was done. It was all under the mansion, you know, that gallery. And I was like, how is this happening? I don't understand. How are we going all over Helen Creek? What are we doing? I couldn't figure it out. So they took me on the catwalk and I experienced how they figured it out. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. So I agree with you, Joe. Absolutely, they should do that. Absolutely. When I'm hired as a Disney CEO, I pledge to spend a month or more visiting all parks, riding every ride, and talking with cast members and guests. How do I apply? Yeah, there's ways you can go. There is you should ask Adam that, Darren, seriously, because Adam knows that there's a board. There's like a board. I know in Florida, there's like a board, a posted board online that you can see what jobs are available. And I know in Walt Disney World that they have that because a friend of mine got hired through that external board and brought in that, you know, like, what do they call it? Like list of jobs, job opportunity board or whatever. There's one inside that talks to cast members. And then there's one that you can see online that's out to the public if they can't find a cast member or someone, because they do like to hire from within, but they also want to find somebody from out there too. So that'd be a start. I'd ask the tribe, Darren. Seriously. I know you may not have been really asking that question, but if you were, that's what I'd say. You got my vote. There you go. See, you already got a vote. Woohoo! I'm so worried about all the history, says Audrey. Yeah, I know. It can make you very, very worried because you love the park. It's your family. Touchstones Pictures and Hollywood Pictures. Exactly. That's the one thing I think that Michael Eisner did that was really, really smart, is there's a lot of parents that are just really don't like the brand being muddied, making them more aggressive in the Walt Disney Picture one. Yeah. The new Cheaper by the Dozen on Disney Plus is actually pretty good. Oh, I haven't seen it, but then it's not because I have any opinion about it. It's just that I haven't had time. So I'll go check it out. All Then Touchstone Pictures too, they were owned by Disney too. Exactly, Jacob. That's absolutely correct. If I was Disney CEO, I'd bring back the old tagline Disney used to have on their movie posters. Look to the name Walt Disney for the finest in family entertainment. That's a great idea, Joe. It's a great idea. Don't you guys think that's a great idea? It's a great idea. Darren Michael say, not a huge fan for remakes, but this is imaginative. Ooh, I like when they're imaginative. Jenna says she liked that. Sorry, it's time for bed and bath time. I love you too, Bella. Thanks for hanging in there for as long as you have. And good night to Grandma and to your mom as well. And then let's try to work out next in 2023, me coming up and to see you, okay? Or it might be later this year. We'll see how your school schedule's going, Bella, and how your family is doing. I'll message you and we'll see if we can't get that London trip back on our books, okay? Okay, love you. Good night. Darren says good night. Joe says sleep well. Jacob says, have you ever been to the Frozen sing-along show in Hollywood Studios at Disney World? No, but they just had a sing-along that was really cool at the Academy Theater. It was Mary Poppins, and you got to sit and sign and sing with the deaf. And I didn't get to go there. I told the Academy, I hope they do it again, because I was beside myself with joy. I love doing stuff like that. Especially the original Mary Poppins, which is the only Mary Poppins in my opinion. Yes, Evelyn says, the local taxpayers are looking at $1 billion in bond debt. Oh my goodness. Enough said there. In the initial planning, the company, were trying to move a Disney park to Virginia. They turned Disney down to many historical sites, and that's why Disney started working on Disney California Adventure. Yes, and Virginia is great. Virginia has some awesome weather. So, watch out. That's why Virginia threw their hat in the ring again, because they saw how Florida is benefiting with a Disney park in their midst. You know, and the Disney, all that is Disney. Yeah. You know, you got to be concerned. You got to figure out what you're going to do with the coastal cruise line area. But trust me, they're big enough. They can make anything work. They can do. See, this is the thing. They can do it. They can make it happen. And heaven help us if they decide to go all the way to Australia and not be with us. But be careful. Australia has some mean critters out there. Lovely people. Lovely people. Lovely place. Scary critters. Oscar, please join the tribe, says Darren. Bob Berdeen smiling. Hello, Alexandra Williams. We still have to save Splash Mountain. You're absolutely right. 100% dyed in the wool correct. I wrote it the other day and couldn't get over how much I absolutely love that attraction. Did I walk that? I didn't get to walk that before I did it for Splash. Before I did it for Tokyo. That's one of the attractions I sculpted with a team of people for Tokyo Disneyland. Got to do main drop. More on that later. You often can ask me. Darren says, Connie Lane is amazing. If you don't know about her, please Google her. She is awesome and part of our tribe. Part of Terry's tribe. Patreon.com/Terri Hardin. Disney movies always had a scary thing or two in them, and you survived it, and it made you stronger. I agree with you, Diane, which is why I'm not really about wrapping kids in bubble wrap, okay? Making the films too YA. You got to go through the emotions. It's not all happy. I'm sorry. I wish it was. Joe said, who asked for Disney to change the Snow White dark ride? 3 people on Twitter? Yeah, that's about it. It's a shame because the ending is just wrong. I'm sorry. A lot of people said they liked it. I'm you there. What? Stupid. It was not a good choice. It was a stupid choice. Not that they were stupid, just the choice is stupid. I don't think the ride should be changed because 1 out of 7 kids got frightened. No, that is what made it fun, because you survived it. Exactly. Speaking of Dole Whip, I absolutely love it. I got my trip last time I went. You got it on your trip the last time you went to Jacob. Yeah, you know, we ordered it, mobile ordered it, which was really fun because you walk up and it's just made. You walk in and they're like, yeah, here you go, because they kind of get an idea who wants one instead of you walking up in it. I don't know. Both is good. Both is wonderful. But something about the Dole Whip at Disneyland that just rocks my world compared to Dole Whips that I've had in other places, like the Alani in Hawaii. I mean, it's great to be in Hawaii, and it's great to get a Dole Whip in Hawaii. But for some reason, it doesn't taste, it doesn't have that impact. Maybe because in Hawaii, you get all kinds of yummy pineapple and yummy fruit and yummy sun and yummy. I mean, come on. It's fun. 100% right, Terry. Every experience we have in our lifetime, good and bad, pleasant and scary, makes us what we are. It teaches us to adapt to the world around us and deal with the uncertainties that life can bring us. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said, Larry. Very well said. What hat did Frank wear? Did you see it in the picture? Let me show it to you again. I'm happy to show it to you again. A shot of the hat. It's just him peeking in the side, but you can get the idea. You see how it's got that little brim right here in the corner? See, it's got that little brim. And look, it's got the Disney wallpaper on it. Isn't he cute? You know those hats with the little brims. Not everyone can wear them. That's the one he wore. That's the one I bought him for his birthday yesterday. I think I recall the antique store in New Orleans Square. It was nice. Nice to learn that Haunted Mansion finally had a store of its own. I mean, it's cool. I used to love visiting the pirate store outside the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes, it's still there. It's still there. Unfortunately, the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff has gotten a little more tchotchke, in my opinion. A lot of plastic swords and wigs, things that are weird. I mean, it just doesn't look like a lot of quality stuff there, but that's okay because a lot of kids like to have a plastic sword or wear the Jack Sparrow dreadlocks or something. But it doesn't seem to have a lot of quality stuff I used to see in the Pirates of the Caribbean store. But the Haunted Mansion store is really good because it becomes Nightmare Before Christmas when Nightmare Before Christmas is in the Haunted Mansion, and classic Haunted Mansion when Haunted Mansion is in Haunted Mansion. Okay? So it's really a clever store. And the stuff is good stuff. There's good stuff in there. Not all, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. And I loved being able to get him this hat because I thought it was adorable. So I was happy. Yep, very happy. Jacob says, sorry, that was supposed to say, got my trip last time I went down there. Well, that, you can see I can decipher it. I love deciphering it because the same thing happens to me. So no worries, Jacob. Stephen, personally, they need to bring the villain store. Well, the villain store is a very interesting thing, Stephen. Villain store used to be in Fantasyland across from what is now the Bippity Boppity Boo Boutique. Say that quickly. And the religious right got upset about it. There are people out there that feel you should not edify demons and evil people. I disagree. Okay. I think villains are essential to life. If you don't have a villain, it's hard to have a good guy. Okay. And I love villains who think they're doing good. That's my favorite villain. And I don't know if you've seen the movie called Hell or High Water, but if you get a chance to see it, if you're not really into violence, it's about two guys. It can be a bit violent, but more importantly, it has a strong message. And the villain, who is an amazing actor to begin with, you're torn because he's a villain, but he also has a lot of heart. And that's the kind of villain I like. I like a villain that I feel for. Maleficent is a perfect example. Here is a very, very evil woman. I believe, I'm not talking about the Angelina Jolie movies. I'm not even going to discuss those, other than Angelina Jolie looks great. Otherwise, I don't like those films at all. But the animated film, we see how she comes in and she is not happy and she is very dangerous. She is, after all, the mistress of evil. And then we begin to see her vulnerability when she asks her minions if they have found Aurora, and they say, we've searched all the cradles. And she goes, oh no, they're a disgrace to the forces of evil. And she just falls in her chair so sad and looks at her raven and says, it's up to you, my pet. So we get to feel that not everything in her world is perfect, do we? And that's what I'm talking about. I think that's why I like Maleficent as my favorite villain. And then another villain that I like a lot is Yzma. Yzma just knocks me over with a feather every time I see her. She is so funny. She's so wonderful. And she is another one that can be evil, but things don't necessarily always go right for her. And so we love her. And we don't like what she does, but we love her. She's just adorable. So that's what I'm talking about. You need good to appreciate. You need evil to appreciate good. And Disney's, when they do it with their characters, they do it very well. So the villain store, a lot of people felt you couldn't edify characters like Chernabog or these villains. So Disney, as I understand it, got rid of the villain store because of that. It was offending some people, so they did. And it's too bad because I love the villain store. Man, that was a great store. Antique store was the one-of-a-kind shop. That's right, Audrey. Very good. Very good, Audrey McDaniel. That I was trying to remember what it was, but you're right. That's exactly what it was. You have my vote, Darren Michaels. There you go. Bob Burdine is in your corner. Just become a member. Just became a member. Yay! Welcome, Evelyn. Hey, everybody. Evelyn's in the group. Welcome. I'll send you official welcome after I'm, done here. Okay. They have a really awesome haunted mansion in France called Phantom Manor. Have I ridden it? You bet. And I like Phantom Manor. The other thing I like about the haunted mansion in France is it's decrepit and decaying and falling apart. That's my idea of a haunted mansion. In fact, we were doing the one in Paris. For the one in Paris, I was so excited. I didn't do it. It was other Imagineers doing that one. But I loved it. It was creepy and scary and old and falling apart. I just thought that was cool. The one here, I was like, it doesn't look scary. But that was Walt's vision. The haunted mansion in Anaheim was Walt's vision. He wanted that bayou kind of haunted mansion. Yeah, he liked that kind of thing. So, who's going to argue with Walt? I certainly wasn't going to do it. I never got to meet him in person, but I heard he was a lovely man, very quiet, and often forward-thinking. So if you ever got to meet Walt and he was kind of looking away from you, maybe not looking at you, he could be thinking about how things could improve. This is what we're told in the tribe. He was always thinking, and that's a good thing. Yeah, Jacob, it's a great ride. It's great. Oh, it's so lovely. My husband loved it too. Welcome to the tribe, Evelyn. You're a welcome addition. Yes, indeed, you are. Leo says jobs with Disney are also posted on LinkedIn. Well, there you go. I don't spend a lot of time in LinkedIn. I'm there, but I don't know how to navigate it very well. It's another thing that I need to learn because there's a lot of business to business there. And I know that I'm missing an opportunity to speak with a lot of people. I need to get on it. Yeah, there's lots of things I need to get on. That's why I don't watch a lot of television. Pillsbury Biscuits, excuse my language. Like I told you, I can't type. That was supposed to say, have you ever wrote it? I got it. Yes, Jacob, I got it. Yeah, I have. With my husband, actually. We had a great time there. The time we met Bella. Just kidding. No, I get it. Hey, Shaman, how are you? Good to see you. Now, Shaman, he told me about another Star Wars thing that's happening on or around the 25th. So you've got a couple of things happening May 25th around Star Wars. So if you're going, enjoy yourself. Have a good time. I'm actually going to do the Chuck Jones charity event that day. Or that night, actually. And then I'm going to be at Walt's Barn with a great little club called Friends of the Mouse. So I'm busy, but you be sure to tell me what it's like. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. Yay. Thank you for saying that. Too much. You see how he apologizes an awful lot? Doesn't need to, though, does he? Nah, Jacob doesn't need to. There is so much cheap tchotchke stuff at Disneyland store locations. You're right. I don't know about the spelling either. I'm the wrong person to ask, but I know what you mean. And it's true. They look like it's going to open and be a great experience, and then it's kind of not good in the middle. I spoke with a lady. She was lovely. She talked about Spirit jerseys, and I think the Spirit jerseys are great, but they come out of China, guys. I mean, I don't want it to, do some things that are heirloom quality. I know you guys like the hats and the spirit jerseys and all of that, but I just want to see some heirloom quality stuff. And I think you should invite some artists like myself to create that. Pull in these people, they do something, pull in those people, do this something, and theme it on the cruises. Theme it. Yeah. So then we come in, we talk to you, we speak to you, and we offer an art piece for you to collect only at the time that we're there. Yep. I just think that's something that could be really good for y'all. Are you talking about the brand new 2021 version of the snow ride? I'm talking about the one that's in there. Yes, today. I saw it yesterday. I went to Disneyland yesterday and rode it. And yuck. That's the one I'm talking about. Tchotchke. Joni loves tchotchke. Oh, I love the way you spelled that. I didn't even, at first I was like, how do you spell that? I should really take a picture of that, so I never meant it. I have Hell or High Water. It's a great film, terrific performances, written by Taylor, creator of the Yellowstone universe. Exactly. And when I saw Taylor, that's the guy I've been telling you guys that I love. I'm crazy about this guy. I had not put a face to the name, but I saw him talk about on my Hell or High Water DVD. They have behind the scenes, and he speaks. And I go, that's the guy. That's my guy. And that guy can really ride. That guy can really ride. So I'm a big fan of him. I'm huge, and he only has a small part in the movie. But the minute I heard his voice, I go, that's the guy that I like to watch on Yellowstone. I love watching him. He's amazing. And he writes too. Wow. Does he cook? Actually, they're bringing back the Villain Shop, centered of new products featuring Bob Chapek. Cute Leo. Patron page is cool. I believe you will enjoy and learn so much. Welcome, Evelyn. Yes, welcome. They're all going to do it on the page, too. As soon as I get you on that page, everybody will just shower you with love. That's the way they are. You're going to love it, Evelyn. Speaking of villains, Yzma is amazing. The musical really exemplifies the dichotomy between evil and good. Darren, a lot of writers like to do musicals, at least back in the day of Ray Bradbury, because they have more control. I don't know if this is the case now, movies and television versus plays, but playwrights are still celebrated. Sometimes writers, maybe not. When was your first autograph request? Oh, when was the first time someone asked for my autograph? As opposed to bank on a check because I was paying a bill? No, I'm kidding. Whoa, that's a good question. Well, I was in college, actually. And I was doing this series of painted rocks before they were such a big deal. I guess a lot of people paint rocks now. But I was painting rocks to put myself through college, and they asked me for my autograph during high school and college because that's how I put myself through college. So I think that was my first autograph request, was to sign my rocks. And then to autograph it. Yeah, because they love the art. That was probably the first. My first Disney autograph request was shortly after becoming an Imagineer, and I spoke at the NFFC. What was the name of the club that I did? I can't remember the name of the small club. For some reason, it's not in my head. But they were really gracious and sweet and wonderful. And I spoke, and then everybody wanted to talk. And I don't think I had anything to share, actually, other than my words. So it was a little weird signing Post-it notes, Shaman. The one-of-a-kind shop first featured items that Lily and Disney purchased on her travels with Walt Disney. And my husband will tell you, Leo, and the cases that are seen on the Nautilus in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea that you can now see at Mr. Lincoln, in the hall of Mr. Lincoln. My husband just covets those every time he sees them. He's like, he kept saying, please let me buy them. Oscar says, one of my concerns is it's a small ride. I heard it was going to be changed. Do you know anything about it? I hope not, Oscar. I mean, why would they change It's a Small World? Why? I'm not a fan of It's a Small World, but that's the number one attraction. Does everybody realize It's a Small World is the number one attraction in Disneyland and Walt Disney World? And yeah, almost every park. It's like it's up in the top 5, okay? So why would you change? If it's working, don't fix it. All right. I did hear they changed the boats because people are a bit heavier now, but okay. I think you should do that rather than tell them you're going to cut their food intake because you think they're eating too much, like that woman said. There's someone who had a smart move there, didn't she? Wow. Looked like she was trying to get people upset, you know? New Orleans was one of Walt's favorite cities. Music, food, people. Exactly, Leo, which is one of the reasons he wanted that haunted mansion like that. Yeah, Rolly was telling me all about it. Yeah. The Bonte Eve Cantina, our third annual event. Exactly. So you guys interested in going to this? Talk to this gentleman right here. He will get you in the right way. Tchotchkes, says Leo. Yep. See, I'm learning. Also known as dust collectors, says Leo. As long as they don't break. Yeah. The villain store was haunted. I experienced a phenomenon there one night at closing time. Ooh, I love that. I love that, which is all the more reason the religious right were saying close it. You realize that, don't you, Stephen? There you go, buddy. There you go. Stephen Wyatt's Mouse Con is amazing. He now has a Bakersfield show. Really? Well, I can tell you that I know this because I was at the last Bakersfield show. I actually was a guest there and I had a great time there. I really enjoyed myself. A little challenging being a speaker at the Bakersfield show because it's a great hangar. And so you echo while people are trying to sell an echo, but you do the best you can. And it was a lovely experience and I had a seriously good time. I think my favorite part was there was another person who was speaking after, and he didn't have the dongle that allows you to connect it to an HDMI cable and show your iPad on the screen. Now, if what I've said is completely over your head, understand it's probably over your head because I'm saying it. I would be looking at you cross-eyed, but since I've been broadcasting for close to 4 years now, I know this stuff a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So you can learn. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. One more Bob Chapek. You can learn. Yes, you can. Don't you paint rocks for other Imagineers? I sculpt them. I carve them. Yeah, I don't paint them. I carve them. Yep. That's my job. One of a kind was one of Lillian. Yes, exactly. Yes, this shop was my favorite when I was there, and I bought several things there because it was so not Disney to me. It was Disney without being Disney, an antique store where things were handpicked and heirloom quality. I really missed that store. I got some seriously cool stuff in that store. I'll have to show you one thing that I got there. I absolutely still have and adore, and I was thinking maybe I wasn't sure I was gonna. I don't know. As we get older, it's time to move things along, and I have so many cool antiques. It's time for them to move. I like to carry turn of the century things from the 1800s are my favorite stuff. I love the oak and everything, and I love that period. So I was all about that period, Connie, so much. I love Small World. Yes, Rose Burdine, you are not alone. I only ride it. Terry only rides it during Christmas. That's it. I will only ride it during Christmas. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a Small World was just getting a new projection show for El Canto. Well, there you go, Leo. There you go, guys. See what I mean? Don't you think that the Disney executives should be talking to you guys? Look at all the knowledge I'm getting today. Well, I should just watch this video, actually. That'll get them a head start. MouseCon in Concord is awesome. It is. I love doing that. They invited me just before the pandemic and I had a great time. And I hope Stephen invites me back because I love the location because it was like doing it in a tropical area because we did it among plants and things. The hotel was really cool. And then they had a separate theater for the talks. It was lovely. I had a great time there. I really enjoyed myself. It was wonderful. Stephen, yes, Stephen's got this. Yep. Yzma and Kronk always had several comeumbances in the film and TV series episodes. It's just they're great characters. They're adorable. What's not to love a man who does his own theme song? Yeah, I love that. Loved it. The It's a Small World ride is the ultimate example of classic Disney, along with their movies, television shows, and music as well. Jacob, if you've heard me before, you know that I think Tomorrowland should be retro. It should be back to the way Walt saw it. And that's because Walt walked it. I think when you change Disney, you upgrade what he did. You don't erase it, is my feeling. And that's because that's the only park that Walt ever walked. And so there's a lot of families that want to show their children what Walt's vision was. And so I think we ought to hang on to that. You know, if I had my way, I'd turn the treehouse back to the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. That's what I would do. I wouldn't make it per any kind of movie. I'd just make it the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse because that's the way Walt envisioned the treehouse. I'd keep the Pirates of the Caribbean the way Walt envisioned it. Maybe make it a little bit more, you know, if the figures are moving better because of technology, if there's some projected stuff that you could do because of technology, of course, do that. But keep it in the flavor of Walt. Yeah, because that way people can see what Walt envisioned. You've got, what is it, 5, 6 other parks that you can upgrade and change and do whatever you want. Walt Disney World, you can have at it. He never walked through there. You know, but that way you can kind of get an idea of why he did what he did. And what's really interesting is that the concept art for Downtown Disney looks like Old Tomorrowland. So if you're thinking this is a good idea for Old Tomorrowland, why isn't it good for Tomorrowland? Because right now it's not working. Put the rocket ships back up. Get rid of that garage sale that's on top of where they used to be. And maybe bring the People Mover back, you know. But bring Tomorrowland back in the way Walt saw it. Now, if you want to bring back the Carousel of Progress, one of the things you can improve is that you don't have to stop in, what was it, 1980 or his vision of 2000. Now we're in 2000. You can do our vision beyond, because I think that would be cool. But you keep the early stuff that he did and you do the crossover. That's a change, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's my feeling. It's my feeling entire. I think you should do that so that they can say, you know, this is what Walt saw. This is what they envisioned. You saw in the book. You remember in the book when you saw the Utopia cars the way they looked before Chevron got a hold of them. You know, guess what you could bring back? The flying saucers. I'm serious. I think that if that's what I would do. Connie, I'd love to know your inside info about the one-of-a-kind shop, says Darren. We will do that in the tribe. Don't do it now, Connie. Here's the Mouse Fan group, Terry. You guys want to join? There you go. So there you go. Just a little sharing from Shaman. Darren Michaels, here's the fan group, giving you another sharing. And there you go. Terry wrote a fantastic forward for Joshua Schaefer. Thank you. Joshua Schaefer has a great book about Disney history, and he's constantly altering it and changing it, and asked me to do a forward for it, and I wrote a forward for him. He was surprised because it was like, you know, it's a bit long-winded. I actually read over, I didn't read the book cover to cover, but I read over the book. I took certain areas and read the first few things in it so I could acquaint myself. His book is like this. His book, let me do it over here, is like this thick. Okay. But it's really great. It touches a lot of things and he's constantly working to revise it. So he's right. It's a great book. If you can get it, Joshua would love you for it and you would love having it. Joe says, I agree with reverting the treehouse back to Swiss Family Treehouse. I also redesigned Frontierland and Tomorrowland entirely. They're both been horribly neglected. Indeed. Theme has become an afterthought. That needs to change. Indeed. I will say though, where were we yesterday? And we looked across the way and we saw, we were on Big Thunder and we came up to the high point and over the mountains, we could see the mountains of Galaxy's Edge and it looked really cool. It looked cool. Now, that's not like when you come to the parking lot and you see the lath and plaster that makes Galaxy's Edge. That's unacceptable. Okay. But you make a good point, Joe, and I agree. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'm offering the solution. I think that Disneyland needs to preserve the way Walt saw it because it's the only park Walt walked. It's the only place that you can create that walk out of the back of the castle picture that you all know and love, okay? You can dress yourself up like Walt Disney or Walt and Lillian and walk through there and you can duplicate that picture. You cannot do that in Florida. You cannot do that in Paris. You cannot do that in Shanghai. You're getting what I'm saying, right? Right. You can only do it there. So we shouldn't erase. We need to preserve, but we can improve. Like the Haunted Mansion is a perfect example. Haunted Mansion is not erased. Haunted Mansion is not changed. It's just added to. We have some things that make it so much better now. The Bride, for one, and that's all I'm going to say if you haven't got to ride it. But oh my gosh, it's chilling how wonderful it is, how great it is, and it keeps improving within those barriers. So just my opinion, just my opinion. Thanks for signing for me at MouseCon. Oh yes, of course, you're welcome. I'll be taking Adrian's first time to Disneyland on May 22nd and May 23rd. Disneyland California Adventure, first Disneyland trip since 2018. Well, this is going to be fun for you. It's going to be great. Reach out to me. I might be around, okay? Okay. And finally, Darren says, I wish that Disney Plus would add more of the wonderful world of Disney weekly TV shows. Me too. Me too. I love those. And as a kid, we all watched them. It's what helped us. And those little interstitials of Walt with the ambassadors talking about the park and things like that. Guys, it's been great. We kept it at close to 2.5 hours. I try to do 2 because I know you got stuff to do, but we had a great group today. We had a big group. Apparently, all of you are feeling like Jpeck needs educating, and I'm really glad you stuck with me. Most of you stuck with me for the whole thing. I want to thank you for that. I love you guys. You guys are the ones, okay? If you think someone would love to see this video, please let them know it's happening and subscribe. There's a reason on YouTube that you subscribe. I'm still not as good with that, but please help me out. That would be great. If you like these, you can always watch them in snippets. They're always on YouTube and they always go 1 to 2 hours long because that's just me. But maybe later it'll be less. But you guys have a lovely weekend. I'm so glad to have spent this time with you. You're all so, so special. And I really think they're getting a disservice because they're not with you guys, okay? Love you guys and welcome to the tribe. Go check out the tribe. You're going to love it. You know, Terry, what you were talking about update is to keep it while it's original. Exactly, Jacob. It reminds me when I watched an episode of Behind the Attraction series on Disney Plus. You know, if you realize that if you watch, if they come back and they make it retro, you can actually open books and go, see, that's what I saw. Do you remember this in the book? Little Jim or little Eric or little Anthony or little, whatever. Terry, little Terry. You remember when you saw this in the book? You remember when you wrote it as a kid? Now you can share it with your kids. I agree. I think that's it, 100%. You are welcome, my dear. Joe, you have a great weekend, and everyone too. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. Remember, if you're down in the dumps, coming here and chatting with us helps you to speak your mind, right? And if you really need some help or some support, join the tribe. Patreon.com/Terri Hardin. I'll see you on the other side. Love you guys.